Chapter 1059. Liang Jinshun pushed all the blame onto Liang Jinfen. Mother, we didn't say that we wanted it. It was second sister who kept talking. Old Madame Liang sighed again and said to Liang Jinfen, Second sister, today is your eldest sister's wedding day. Don't make a fuss. If you want to make a fuss, pick a better day. What's the point of making a fuss now, don't you think so? Mother. Liang Jinfen wanted to say something but was interrupted by old Madame Liang. That's enough, second sister. Don't lie on the ground. Get up quickly. Only then did Liang Jinfen get up. Slowly, the relatives of the Liang family began to leave. Liang Jinfen went back unwillingly. After everyone left, Zhao Yun grabbed Liang Jinyu. Liang Jinyu looked at Zhao Yuner in confusion. Yuner, what's wrong? Is something the matter? Zhao Yuner nodded. Auntie, you're not in a hurry to go back, right? If you're not in a hurry, I have something to discuss with you. Liang Jinyu thought that although her family was busy, it was not impossible for her to leave. So she nodded and said, Okay, then I'll stay for a while. Yun, you can tell me if you have anything to say. There's no hurry, Auntie. Let's talk inside. Liang Jinyu saw that Zhao Yuner was being mysterious and wondered if it was something important. So she followed Zhao Yuner into the room of the third branch. At this moment, Zhao Wenhua and Zhao Tianan were returning the tables and chairs one by one. After Liang Jinyu sat down, Zhao Yun told Liang Jinyu about the plan to raise pigs. After hearing this, Liang Jinyu was silent for a moment. Finally she nodded and said, Yuner, if your family really plans to raise pigs, your uncle-in-law and I will definitely be fine. But in the future, you don't need to share the profits with us. You just need to pay us. Liang Jinyu felt that Zhao Yuner's family was responsible for the separation of assets. It would be fine if they succeeded, but if they failed, they would suffer a lot. Even if they succeeded, they would still get so much profit for her family. No matter what, it was her family who had taken advantage of them. Auntie, you don't have to be so courteous with our family. If I didn't look for you, I would still receive the same treatment if I looked for someone else. If you're not willing to do it, then I'll have to discuss it with someone else. Hearing Zhao Yuner's words, Liang Jinyu had no choice but to say, Yuner, let me do it. If we make money, it will be a loss to others. Liang Jinyu's heart ached for Zhao Yuner's family. If she agreed now, she would discuss it again when Zhao Yuner gave it to her. Then, everything would be fine. Haha, then Auntie, it's settled then? Liang Jinyu nodded. Yes, it's settled then. That's fine. Zhao Yuner saw that she didn't have to waste much effort to persuade her. But Yuner, when will your family's pigsty be built? When will we start raising pigs? Liang Jinfen asked. It would be best if it could be after the harvest in her family's fields was over. Auntie, after my family's house is built, we can build the pigsty. I estimate that we can start raising pigs in 3 or 4 months. When Liang Jinyu heard this, she felt that the timing was suitable. At that time, the rice in the fields would have basically been harvested. Then, there would be time to prepare to help Zhao Yuner's family raise pigs. Okay, Yuner, call me when you're ready. Zhao Yuner nodded heavily. Okay. After chatting for a while, Liang Jinyu got up and prepared to go back. Chapter 1060. She was the one who prepared all the meals at home, so the kids might not know how to cook. She couldn't possibly go home too late and let the kids starve. Zhao Yuner didn't ask Liang Jinyu to stay and allowed her to go home. Before Liang Jinyu left, Zhao Yuner went to the kitchen and took out some leftover meat dishes to pack for Liang Jinyu. Auntie, here, take this and eat. There's a lot left at home, so don't stand on ceremony with me. Bring it back for uncle, cousin, and cousin to try. Liang Jinyu glanced at Zhao Yuner and said, Yuner, that's not very nice. You can eat it yourself. Why are you giving it to me? Then she continued, your eldest uncle, and second aunt didn't give it to you. It's not very nice to give it to me. Liang Jinyu wasn't standing on ceremony. She was just too embarrassed to accept it. Zhao Yuner smiled and comforted her. Auntie, you're different from eldest uncle, and second aunt. They all brought their families over for a meal, but you're the only one who came over. If you take this back, you won't be able to eat as much as eldest uncle, and second aunt. This. Liang Jinyu looked at the leftovers that Zhao Yuner handed to her and was still too embarrassed to accept it. Little sister, take it. Don't stand on ceremony with your family. Liang Jinqiao also persuaded her. Okay then. Big sister, I'll take it then. Liang Jinyu hesitated for a while before taking it. Okay. After waiting for Liang Jinyu to go home, Zhao Yuner cleaned up the kitchen and prepared some meat dishes to bring back for Yili. However, when Zhao Yuner got home, there was no one in the house. Zhao Yuner thought that Yili had gone to the latrine again, so she waited in the house for a while. However, after waiting for half an hour, Yili didn't come back. Zhao Yuner sensed that something was wrong. She wondered if something had happened to Yili. Could it be that Yili accidentally fell into a cesspool? No. Zhao Yuner stood up with a tang sound and was about to go to the latrine to fish out the person. Before she went, she only hoped that if Yili really fell into the latrine pit, he wouldn't drown. She had to get there in time. Otherwise, she didn't know what to do. However, when Zhao Yuner arrived in front of the latrine and called out, no one answered her. He looked into the latrine pit but didn't see anyone. Where is he? Zhao Yuner frowned deeply. Since it was not in the latrine, then where was it? Zhao Yuner had told Yili not to run around, let alone wander around in the village, so as not to be discovered and exposed. Therefore, if Yili didn't have anything to do, he should have informed her before something happened. Zhao Yuner hurried into the house, feeling a little uneasy. She flipped through Yili's mattress and found a letter on it. It was addressed to her. Zhao Yuner opened the letter and glanced at it. The general content of the letter was that Yili had left because he didn't want to trouble her anymore. His injuries were almost healed and there were no major problems. He could take care of himself. He was afraid that if he stayed too long with Zhao Yuner, he would be discovered and implicate Zhao Yuner. However, what Zhao Yuner didn't know was that Yili left because he knew that Mu Lianfeng would definitely come back. Chapter 1061. If Mu Lianfeng came back, how awkward would it be for him to come between them? He couldn't possibly be a third wheel and shamelessly refuse to leave, could he? If Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng got into a conflict because of him, he would feel even more guilty. So it was better for him to leave early. Even if he couldn't bear to part with Zhao Yuner, sometimes loving someone didn't mean that he had to stay by her side. He just wanted her to be happy and safe. After Zhao Yuner finished reading the letter, her brows knitted tightly together. This Yili. He really didn't want to live anymore. Where could he go now? Where could it be safer than her home? If he were to be exposed, wouldn't he lose his life as well? He was taking his own life as a joke. He didn't even have the slightest bit of responsibility for himself. However, even though Zhao Yuner was angry, there was nothing she could do now. Since he was determined to leave this time, she wouldn't be able to find him no matter how hard she tried. Rather than that, she might as well give up struggling and just let it go. She couldn't stop others from leaving. She silently prayed for Yili in her heart, as long as he didn't get into any danger. Daodu came back from playing outside. When he didn't see Yili, he asked Zhao Yuner where Yili had gone. Your beautiful uncle left. Zhao Yuner said. Left? Where did he go? Daodu asked in his soft voice. Zhao Yuner shook her head. Mom doesn't know where your beautiful uncle went either. Daodu frowned. Mom, will he come back? Zhao Yuner shook her head again. I don't know. Your beautiful uncle didn't tell me. After hearing Zhao Yuner's reply, Daodu couldn't hide the disappointment on his face. Zhao Yuner patted Daodu's head and comforted him. He comforted her. All right, Daodu, don't be sad. Uncle Handsome will have to leave one day. He can't live with us. It was better to leave earlier than later. The longer they stayed, the deeper their feelings would be, and the more reluctant they would be to leave. This was the so-called short pain is better than long pain. Mother, why can't Uncle Handsome live with us in the future? Daodu was a little confused. That's because we have to live with your father, so we can't live with Uncle Handsome. Your beautiful uncle isn't our relative. Daodu replied dejectedly. Although he didn't really understand, he knew that he couldn't be with Yili anymore. All right then, Mother. It's just that Daodu won't be taught how to fly in the future. The corners of Zhao Yuner's mouth curled up. It's okay, Daodu. Your father is back. He can teach you. Daodu's sunken eyes lit up for a moment. Mother, really? Can father teach Daodu to fly as high as Uncle Handsome? Yes, he should be able to. After hearing Zhao Yunar's words, Daodu's mood improved a lot. Yes, that's good. Mother, let's wait for father to come back together. Zhao Yunar chuckled. Okay. Children were indeed easier to coax. If it were an adult, it probably wouldn't be so easy to coax. Of course, a child's sadness would only last for a moment. It would quickly erase the sadness. Zhao Yunar's heart suddenly felt empty. Chapter 1062. Forget it, forget it. It's useless to think about this. Everyone has their own life. I should get used to this kind of parting. The second day after Zhao Ping arrived at her in-laws' house. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Qin Yuan opened his eyes. Because he drank too much yesterday, his head hurt a lot. He rubbed his forehead. Why does it still hurt so much after sleeping for a whole night? He was puzzled, but he didn't think too much about it. He thought that he was lying on his own bed. Just as he was about to get up, he realized that his clothes were naked. Then, he turned his head and realized that Zhao Pinger was lying beside him. Zhao Pinger's ugly face that could not be any uglier was facing him. Qin Yuan screamed. He thought that he was dreaming. But after pinching himself, he felt the pain and knew that he wasn't dreaming. This was reality. This. How did he end up sleeping with that idiot Zhao Pinger? From the looks of it, the two of them must have done something. Qin Yuan's frown deepened. His face turned pale as if he had encountered something terrifying. To Qin Yuan, doing that with Zhao Pinger was indeed a very terrifying thing. Once he thought about how he had touched that idiot Zhao Pinger, Qin Yuan felt extremely disgusted. Because Qin Yuan screamed, Zhao Pinger opened her sleepy eyes and asked Qin Yuan, "You, Zhao Pinger, how did you end up on my bed?" Zhao Pinger met Qin Yuan's angry and questioning face. "Big brother Yuan, we are married. Isn't it normal for me to be on your bed?" "You?" Zhao Pinger lowered her head and said to Qin Yuan shyly, "Big brother Yuan, we even did that thing last night. We are a real couple now. I will be your wife in the future." It would have been better if he hadn't mentioned it. Now that he mentioned it, the Qin Yuan got even angrier. He felt worse than if he had eaten such asterisk tea. Zhao Ping, was that disgusting piece of shit, but he swallowed it. If it wasn't for the fact that his stomach was empty, he would have vomited. It's all because of this idiot. He was unconscious last night. What could he know? It must have been Zhao Pinger, that bitch, who forced him. She was really being trampled on after she got drunk. His parents were really too much. They clearly knew that he was drunk, yet they still handed him over to Zhao Pinger. Didn't they deliberately let him be tainted by Zhao Pinger? Qin Yuan snorted coldly and said to Zhao Pinger angrily, "Zhao Pinger, you have some tricks up your sleeves." Zhao Pinger was stunned. She looked at Qin Yuan pitifully and said, "Big brother Yuan, what are you talking about? Why can't I understand?" Qin Yuan glared at Zhao Pinger and said, "Pretentious. You really know how to act in front of me." As he said that, Qin Yuan gritted his teeth and said, "I would rather do that with a sow than with you. You must have done something to me while I was drunk." Zhao Pinger was still a little afraid when she met Qin Yuan's eyes. She lit the burning passion incense, so she felt a little guilty. If Qin Yuan found out, he would definitely be angry and scold her. So she couldn't say it. Chapter 1063. Qin Yuan was infuriated by Zhao Pinger's words. Husband and wife. What husband and wife? He never treated Zhao Pinger as his wife. Marrying Zhao Pinger was because he was forced by circumstances. He had no other choice but to marry her. Could it be that this idiot really thought she was his wife? She didn't even take a look at herself. Who would be willing to marry someone like her? You. Qin Yuan was so angry that he didn't know what to say. His head hurt violently again, and Qin Yuan recalled what happened last night. Last night, he was indeed drunk and started to roll over Zhao Pinger's body like a wolf or tiger. Furthermore, he was the one who initiated it. Once he thought about how passionately he rode over Zhao Pinger's body, Qin Yuan's heart felt terrible. This slut. It's all her fault. If she had rejected him, it would have been fine. However, she didn't. Big brother Yuan. Zhao Ping ran over to Qin Yuan and called out pitifully, Big brother Yuan. You can't blame me for this. Qin Yuan was unusually impatient. Zhao Ping shut up. I'll settle this with you properly later. Big brother Yuan. Scram! Qin Yuan pushed Zhao Ping away and climbed up from the bed. Zhao Ping looked at Qin Yuan's back view as he left in a huff. She was so angry that she couldn't take it. She fiercely bit her lower lip. Why? Why did Qin Yuan treat her like this? He didn't even look at her. Wasn't this too much? However, what could she do? Qin Yuan just didn't like her. Being able to marry Qin Yuan was already good enough. She couldn't ask for so much. If she made Qin Yuan unhappy, that would be terrible. They had just gotten married. She didn't want to be divorced so quickly and rushed back. Otherwise, how embarrassing would that be? Qin Yuan didn't like her. It didn't matter if he didn't want to do it with her, as long as he was with her. As for Qin Yuan's unwillingness to have sex with her, it didn't matter either. Later, she would secretly light up the burning passion incense, and Qin Yuan would naturally be unable to control himself. When she was pregnant with Qin Yuan's child, even if Qin Yuan wanted to divorce her, he would not do it so easily. Thinking of this, Zhao Ping felt a lot better. However, after the torment last night, Zhao Ping felt that her body was abnormally heavy, and she could not move at all. Speaking of which, it was really tiring to do that. This was not an easy task. After having a good time with Qin Yuan, Zhao Ping felt extremely tired. Her whole body was a little limp. In addition, the Qin Yuan had been tossed around fiercely. Zhao Ping felt that some parts of her body were bruised. Especially down there, it was swollen. No. Her body was sore, tired, and painful. She really couldn't take it anymore. It was only 7 o'clock. It was still early, and she was very sleepy. Zhao Ping lay down on the bed again and wanted to continue sleeping. She wanted to sleep for a while more. She didn't want to get up now. After Qin Yuan left the room, he went to find the Qin couple. Yuan, why did you come out? Mu Chunfeng saw that his son had gotten up early and asked with heartache. He had drunk a lot last night and even had sex until the middle of the night. He definitely didn't sleep well at this time. Since he didn't have anything important to do after waking up, he might as well sleep a little more. Chapter 1064. Qin Yuan's tone was full of resentment. If the Qin couple hadn't sent him to Zhao Ping's room, then last night's incident wouldn't have happened. What's wrong, Yuan? You're married, so shouldn't we send you back to your bridal chamber? Otherwise, where would we send you? Mu Chunfeng asked. Mother, aren't you and father deliberately trying to harm me? You clearly know that I don't like Zhao Ping, but you still sent me to Zhao Ping, Isn't that too much? Qin Yuan complained. Mu Chunfeng pursed his lips. Yuan, are you angry? What are you angry about? If he sent it to Ping room, then so be it. Aren't you going to sleep with Ping sooner or later? Our family doesn't have that much space, so it wasn't easy for us to find a room. Qin Yuan's face was full of unwillingness. No, mother, I don't want to sleep with Zhao Ping. Mu Chunfeng persuaded. Yuan, you can't not want to. You still have to sleep with Ping. We can't all squeeze into one room and let Ping sleep in another room, right? The family Qin only had a few rooms. Originally, Qin Yuan and his idiot older brother slept in one room, while the Qin couple slept in another. Because Qin Yuan had moved out a new room, they let Qin Yuan's idiot older brother sleep in the same room as the Qin couple. If Qin Yuan wasn't willing to sleep with Zhao Ping, then the family Qin could only sleep in the same room. Qin Yuan thought about it. This wouldn't do. He couldn't squeeze into the same room as his parents. He still had to squeeze in with Zhao Ping. However, sleeping in the same bed was definitely impossible. He had to sleep separately from Zhao Ping. However, his family was poor, and it seemed that he couldn't get a new bed. She could only squeeze together with Zhao Ping to sleep. There must be something in the middle to separate them. Qin Yuan felt that the reason he touched Zhao Ping was because he was drunk and confused. Under normal circumstances, she definitely wouldn't touch Zhao Ping. Qin Yuan was silent for a moment. Mom, all right then. I'll squeeze with that idiot Zhao Pinger again. Hearing Qin Yuan's words, Mu Chunfeng was relieved. He smiled and said, Okay. Yuan, I've wronged you. But it's okay. In the future, when our family is better and we can build a big house, I'll let you marry a wife and live in a new house. Qin Yuan responded faintly. He didn't want to continue talking about this topic. In any case, he was in a very irritated mood right now. Mom, boil some hot water for me. I want to take a bath, Qin Yuan suddenly said. Take a bath. Mu Chunfeng looked at Qin Yuan with some confusion and asked. Yes. Qin Yuan responded. Yuan, why are you taking a bath so early in the morning? Mom, go boil some water for me. Don't ask any more, Qin Yuan said with a sullen face. Qin Yuan didn't want to mention the reason at all. After touching Zhao Pinger's body, Qin Yuan felt extremely disgusted. He had to take a good bath. He rubbed his body with all his might and scrubbed his body clean. Otherwise, he would feel that he was dirty. Mu Chunfeng thought that Qin Yuan drank too much yesterday, so his body felt very uncomfortable today. Hence, he didn't continue asking. He nodded and said, Okay, Yuan. Wait a moment. It'll be done in a while. Qin Yuan responded faintly and went into the house. Chapter 1065. After the water was boiled, she called Qin Yuan over to take a bath. Yuan, come on. You can take a bath now. Okay, mother. Qin Yuan responded and took some water from the kitchen. He went into the house and washed his body from head to toe. This way, his body would feel much more comfortable. Mother, is Zhao Pinger up yet? Qin Yuan asked Mu Chunfeng after he was done. Mu Chunfeng was stunned for a moment before he replied. No. Isn't Pinger still sleeping in the house? Qin Yuan got angry when he heard that. Zhao Pinger is still sleeping? I can forgive her for being ugly and stupid, but how can this woman be lazy? Since she married into our family Qin, she should know the rules of our family Qin. No one will spoil her. Normally, a virtuous woman would have already woken up, prepared breakfast, and served her in-laws. But this woman, Zhao Pinger, on the first day she got married, she slept in at his house. If word of this got out, people would only laugh at him for marrying an ugly and lazy woman. Mother, I'll go and wake her up, Qin Yuan said with a sullen face. Yuan, if Pinger wants to sleep, let her sleep a little longer. What time is it? She's still sleeping? As lazy as a pig? Seeing that Qin Yuan was angry, Mu Chunfeng didn't know what to say. Then why don't you wake Pinger up? Okay. Qin Yuan responded and went into the house. Zhao Pinger was lying on the bed, sleeping comfortably. She was lying on her stomach with her buttocks sticking up in an arc. She was even snoring loudly. The loud snoring made Qin Yuan frown in disgust. Why was Zhao Yun so disgusting? She made herself look like a man. No, it should be said that he looked like a pig. The moment he saw Zhao Pinger like this, he became even angrier. Bang! After a loud noise, Zhao Pinger jumped up in fright. He looked at Qin Yuan blankly and asked, What's wrong? What's wrong? Big brother Yuan, what's wrong? Qin Yuan snorted. What's wrong? Zhao Pinger, what do you think is going on? Zhao Pinger dug her nose and mumbled, Big brother Yuan, I was sleeping just now. I don't know what happened. Qin Yuan was so angry that his chest hurt. Zhao Pinger, you be *tch, shut up. Big brother Yuan. Zhao Pinger didn't know what she had done to make her lover unhappy again. It was really strange. She didn't do anything. Why did Qin Yuan like to be angry with her? It couldn't be that he disliked everything about her, right? Big brother Yuan, if there's anything, just tell me. I'll listen to you. Zhao Pinger looked at Qin Yuan aggrievedly. Qin Yuan vented his anger. Zhao Pinger, you're really something. It's the first day you married into my family, and you actually slacked off and didn't do any work. You slept until now. Aren't you ashamed? Zhao Pinger was very puzzled. Big brother Yuan, isn't it because you were too hard on me last night? Of course, I'm very sleepy. And I woke up. Why did I wake up? No one made me work. I don't know what I should do. Qin Yuan felt that if he spoke a few more words with Zhao Ping'er, he could shorten his lifespan by a few years. Chapter 1066. Zhao Ping'er mumbled, "Big brother Yuan. That's how it is. I don't do much chores at home." Qin Yuan laughed coldly. "That's why I said you're stupid. As a virtuous wife, shouldn't you wake up early to cook and serve me and my parents?" After Qin Yuan finished speaking, he looked at Zhao Ping'er with an unusually cold gaze. Zhao Ping'er realized that she had made a mistake and made Qin Yuan angry. "However, big brother Yuan, I don't know how to cook." After Qin Yuan finished listening, he was so angry at Zhao Ping'er that he couldn't get angry anymore. He suddenly laughed, and his laughter made Zhao Ping'er's hair stand on end. "Big brother Yuan. Zhao Yuner, tell me, what do you know?" Zhao Ping'er thought about it. She really didn't know anything. "Look at yourself. Don't you know what kind of character you have? You're ugly, stupid and lazy, and you don't know anything. Tell me, why would I marry a woman like you? Don't tell me you're going to be a decoration? Haha. Decorations have to be pretty to be decorations. You're so ugly, so you can only be used to scare people. It's pretty good to be my family's door god. Whatever demons or ghosts come to my house, they'll be scared away when they see you." Qin Yuan scolded, and the words he said could be said to be merciless. Zhao Ping'er's face heated up when she heard Qin Yuan's words. She was very embarrassed by what he said. "Zhao Ping'er, let me tell you. You have to be obedient in my house. Otherwise, I'll chase you out." Qin Yuan said sternly. "Big brother Yuan. I'll learn, okay? I'll get up now and cook for you." Zhao Ping'er nimbly got up from the bed. Seeing Zhao Ping'er like this, Qin Yuan didn't say anything. Zhao Ping'er went to the family Qin's kitchen. The stove was cold. Zhao Ping'er didn't know what to do. "Mother!" Zhao Ping'er shouted at the top of her lungs. "What's wrong, Ping'er?" Mu Chunfeng rushed out and asked. "Mother, I don't know how to cook. Can you teach me how to cook?" Mu Chunfeng was easy to talk to. Okay. Mother will teach you. Mother will teach you." Mu Chunfeng thought that once Zhao Ping'er learned how to cook, he could give this job to Zhao Ping'er. Then she would be able to live a happy life, and he would not have to meddle in the affairs of the family every day. This was the benefit of having a wife. Mu Chunfeng was still very happy in his heart. Although Zhao Ping'er was a little stupid, as long as she was willing to do it and slowly teach her, these wouldn't be a problem. "Come, Ping'er. Mother will teach you," Mu Chunfeng said patiently. On the other hand, Zhao Yuner's house was bustling with activity again. On the first day after Zhao Ping'er got married, Liang Jinqiao was still worried about whether Zhao Ping'er could adapt to the family Qin. However, it was useless for her to worry. Zhao Ping'er was now in the Qin family, and she couldn't manage the family Qin's matters. She only hoped that Zhao Ping'er wouldn't make the family Qin angry like she did at home. Mothers-in-law couldn't be compared to mothers. Mothers could be tolerant, but mothers-in-law might not. Fortunately, Mu Chunfeng's personality wasn't like Hua Chuanhua's. Otherwise, Zhao Ping'er would be tormented. When Zhao Ping'er returned home, she would ask her properly. She only hoped that nothing big happened. Zhao Yuner had been busy the whole day yesterday, and today she wanted to have a good rest. Tomorrow, she would go to the town to set up the stall and get busy. She hadn't had a good rest for a long time. Finally, she felt very comfortable. Chapter 1067. Mother! Dao ran in front of Zhao Yuner and patted Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner poked her head out of the blanket and said to Dao, "What's wrong, Dao? Are you hungry? Mother will get up now and cook for you," Zhao Yuner said as she rubbed her fluffy hair. She was nestled in the blanket and her hair was messy, making her look like a lunatic. "No, Mother. Dao ate at grandmother's house. I'm not hungry." Then Dao came over to call Mother because, "Mother, Father is back," Dao said to Zhao Yuner with a smile. There was a sweet smile on his little face, as if it could melt people's hearts. "Your father is back. Where is he?" Zhao Yuner was curious. "Mother, Father just came back to the village. Dao came back to inform you in advance." Zhao Yuner was stunned for a few seconds before she hurriedly got out of bed. He was indeed her biological son. If he didn't come to inform her earlier, then wouldn't Mu Lianfeng be a lazy woman when he came back to see her still in bed at this time? Plus, with her current appearance and messy appearance, which man would like her? Thus, Zhao Yuner hurriedly climbed out of bed. She had to tidy herself up before Mu Lianfeng came back. However, just as Zhao Yuner climbed out of bed, she heard a noise outside. Then, the door to her house was pushed open and a man came in. This man was Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng rushed all the way back, hoping to come back as soon as possible. He wanted to return to Zhao Yuner's side and spend time with Zhao Yuner and Daodu. However, when he pushed the door open and entered, he saw a woman looking at him with an exaggerated expression. The woman's hair was also messy, as if she had experienced something. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Ping a few times before he confirmed that the person standing in front of him was Zhao Yuner. Yuner? Mu Lianfeng exclaimed in surprise. N. Zhao Yuner responded. She lowered her head and wished she could find a hole to hide in. Mu Lianfeng frowned and asked worriedly, Yuner, what happened to you? Did something happen? Mu Lianfeng didn't dislike Zhao Yuner. Instead, he was worried that something might have happened to Zhao Yuner. I didn't run into any trouble. Zhao Yuner pursed her lips awkwardly. I just woke up and didn't have time to wash up, so... Mu Lianfeng understood Zhao Yuner's words, but he was still very surprised after hearing them. I see. After speaking, Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile. Yuner, did you sleep until now because you weren't feeling well? Yes. No. No. Zhao Yuner stuttered and didn't know how to reply. If she said yes, it wouldn't be right. Mu Lianfeng would think that she wasn't feeling well and was worried about her. But if she said no, wouldn't that be admitting that she hadn't slept until now purely because she was lazy and not because she was feeling unwell? Yuner, is it true or not? Mu Lianfeng's concerned gaze fell on Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner's ambiguous answer really made him anxious. No, I'm not feeling unwell. I just felt sleepy, so I slept until now, Zhao Yuner said softly. Before she could raise her head, she was pulled into someone's arms. Chapter 1068. Zhao Yuner was caught off guard and plunged into someone's embrace. What followed was a fresh and familiar scent. Zhao Yuner's head was knocked on. Then she heard Mu Lianfeng gently call in her ear, Yun. Mu Lianfeng hugged Zhao Yuner tightly when Zhao Yuner fell into his arms. He didn't know how long it had been since he hugged Zhao Yuner like this. During the days when he was away, he missed Zhao Yuner so much that he almost went crazy. Every day, he thought about Zhao Yuner. He thought about her when he was eating, drinking, and even when he was sleeping. If it weren't for the mission, he would have rushed back to Zhao Yuner and spent some time with Zhao Yuner. Now, he dawdled until this time and finally rushed back. Zhao Yuner wanted to struggle, but she couldn't break free. You'll suffocate me like this. Zhao Yuner muttered to Mu Lianfeng. There was a hint of shyness in her voice. Mu Lianfeng whispered in Zhao Yuner's ear, Yuner, I miss you so much. So pretentious. You've only been away for a few days and you're already missing me? Zhao Yuner muttered. She was just joking with Mu Lianfeng. Yuner, haven't you heard of this saying? A day apart feels like 3 years. Although I haven't been away for long, I miss you very much. Miss you. Mu Lianfeng said affectionately. The words miss you kept echoing in Zhao Yuner's ears. Zhao Yuner felt her face still burning. Because of Mu Lianfeng's words, she felt a little shy. She was in such a mess, but Mu Lianfeng could say such affectionate words to her. She couldn't help but admire Mu Lianfeng. This man. Did he despise her? Yuner, what's wrong? Don't you miss me? Mu Lianfeng raised his eyebrows and asked softly. How could Zhao Yuner not miss him? Although Zhao Yuner had a lot of things to do during Mu Lianfeng's absence, she was still thinking about Mu Lianfeng and hoped that he would come back soon. Because of him, she could feel that she had someone to protect her and support her. She had a sense of dependence that she had never had before. Otherwise, if she was alone, she would have to shoulder any problems by herself. Yuner, do you miss me? Mu Lianfeng asked again. Zhao Yuner asked back, what do you think? I think you miss me. Mu Lianfeng answered directly. Since you know that I miss you, why are you still asking when you already know the answer? Zhao Yuner glared at him coquettishly. Mu Lianfeng chuckled and said, Yuner, I want to hear you say that you miss me. Zhao Yuner saw that Mu Lianfeng had become like a child and couldn't help but shake her head. He was already an adult, but he was still willful when it came to some things. Zhao Yuner could only say, Yes, I miss you. During the time you were away, I missed you very much. With Zhao Yuner's words, Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile. Yes. Zhao Yuner didn't know if she could say that Mu Lianfeng was childish. If you're done hugging me, let me go, Zhao Yuner murmured. Chapter 1069. Zhao Yuner's soft body gave him a special feeling in his arms. Especially the faint body fragrance coming from Zhao Yuner's body. Mu Lianfeng's heart calmed down a lot when he smelled it. He continued to press his chin against Zhao Yuner's head and took a deep breath. Zhao Yuner had no choice but to let Mu Lianfeng hug her. Forget it, forget it. Mu Lianfeng was just a silly child in front of her now. Why bother with him so much? Daodu walked in front of Mu Lianfeng and tugged at Mu Lianfeng. Daddy, Mu Lianfeng reluctantly let go of Zhao Yuner and said to Daodu, What's wrong, Daodu? Daodu pouted as if he was a little jealous. Mu Lianfeng helplessly tugged at his lips and smiled at Daodu. Okay. Daddy will hug Daodu too. Okay. Daodu nodded, and the grievance and unwillingness on his little face gradually disappeared. Mu Lianfeng was a little helpless. This son was a little disappointing. He was intimate with his mother, but she was very unruly. Now that he thought about it, having a son had its benefits, and not having a son had its benefits. If he and Zhao Yuner could spend some alone time together, it would be good. No one would disturb them. Mu Lianfeng carried Daodu in one arm and Zhao Yuner in the other. The family of three was together again after being separated for a period of time. The scene was a little heartwarming. After a while, Mu Lianfeng finally let go of Zhao Yuner. I'm going to wash up, Zhao Yuner said. Her current appearance was a mess, like that of a lunatic. Fortunately, Mu Lianfeng didn't mind. Because even she despised herself a little. Yuner, if you are tired, you can continue to sleep for a while. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yuner with heartache. He knew that Zhao Yuner had not been idle at home during this period of time. Just the wedding banquet for Zhao Ping was enough for Zhao Yuner to be busy. It was not easy for Zhao Yuner to rest for a day. It was understandable that she was so tired that she had not gotten up until now. Zhao Yuner waved her hand. No, I'm not sleeping anymore. She would be embarrassed to sleep with him again. Mu Lianfeng really thought that she was a lazy woman. All right then, Yuner. If you're tired in the afternoon, you can sleep a little longer. Zhao Yuner nodded. Zhao Yuner washed up simply and let Mu Lianfeng rest as well. Mu Lianfeng felt sorry for her because she was tired. How could she not feel sorry for Mu Lianfeng? In order to rush back early to see her, Mu Lianfeng could be said to be fatigued from the long journey. He rushed back, covered in dust. She could tell by looking at Mu Lianfeng's complexion. Mu Lianfeng's eyes were sunken and he looked very haggard. There were dark circles under his eyes. His complexion was sallow and he had lost a little weight. It had only been a few days, but Mu Lianfeng looked like he was sick. The more Zhao Yuner looked at him, the more her heart ached. Yuner, why are you looking at me? Mu Lianfeng touched his face and asked in confusion, Could it be that there is something on my face? Zhao Yuner shook her head. No, it's just that you look very haggard. Are you very tired? Do you want to rest for a while? Mu Lianfeng had rushed back with great difficulty just to see Zhao Yuner and get together with Zhao Yuner. Now that he had this opportunity, how could he use this time to sleep? He would definitely cherish this moment of reunion. Mu Lianfeng shook his head. Yuner, I'm fine. I don't need to rest. Chapter 1070. Yeah, really. If I'm tired, I'll definitely take a break. Zhao Yuner then nodded. All right then. But since you said you're not tired, are you hungry? At the mention of this, Mu Lianfeng's stomach grumbled a few times. He hadn't eaten for a long time. At this moment, he was very empty, so he nodded. Yeah, I'm a little hungry. Zhao Yuner's lips curled into a smile. She felt that Mu Lianfeng was a little cute. He was obviously so hungry that his stomach was grumbling, but he still said that he was a little hungry and not very hungry. He was simply being stubborn. However, Zhao Yun didn't expose him. Instead, she said to Mu Lianfeng, "You rest first. I'll go and cook for you." Seeing that Mu Lianfeng had lost a lot of weight, Zhao Yun knew that Mu Lianfeng was probably too busy to eat. In addition, the food outside didn't suit Mu Lianfeng's appetite, so he didn't like to eat. "Yun I'll help you." Mu Lianfeng got up and prepared to go to the kitchen with Zhao Yun Zhao Yun waved her hand and said, "No need. You rest. I can do it alone." However, Mu Lianfeng insisted. "No, Yun let's do it together. I'll help you." Mu Lianfeng still enjoyed the time when he was busy with Zhao Yun. "Aren't you tired?" "It's okay. I'm not tired." Looking at how excited Mu Lianfeng was, it was as if he couldn't wait. Zhao Yun didn't want to scold him, lest Mu Lianfeng lose interest. If he wanted to go with her, then so be it. They could chat while they were busy. "All right, let's go to the kitchen then." Yeah. Zhao Yun nodded heavily. On the other side by the river in the village. Because Mu Lan had a lot of things to do, Mu Hin tried his best to share her workload. Therefore, all the clothes in Mu Lan's house were carried by Mu Hin to the river and washed by herself. Ma Xiaofeng happened to be washing clothes by the river. When she saw Mu Hin coming over, she bit her lower lip and looked at Mu Hin with jealousy in her eyes. It was all because of that B*tch Mu Hin that Zhao Tianan did not pay much attention to her now. Therefore, Mu Hin blamed everything on Mu Hin. Without Mu Hin, there would be no woman to seduce Zhao Tianan, and Zhao Tianan's heart would not waver. She would never let go of that B*tch Mu Hin. No, she had to teach Mu Hin a lesson. It would be best if Mu Hin could not stay in the village. After all, this was Shui Lan village, and outsiders were not supposed to come here. Mu Lan had not married anyone. She had married into their village. She came here to seek shelter only because her sister was from Shui Lan village. If Mu Hin caused any trouble in their village and caused the villagers to be angry, the villagers would protest collectively, and Mu Hin would be driven away. She did not need to do it herself at all. She only needed to be the fuse. Looking away from Mu Hin, Ma Xiaofeng continued to wash clothes calmly. There were stone slabs by the river to wash clothes, but there were not many of them. When there were many people, they had to line up. At this time, there was only one stone slab left by the river. Mu Hin saw it and naturally walked towards the remaining stone slab. After Mu Hin walked over, she went to Ma Xiaofeng's side. When Mu Hin saw Ma Xiaofeng, she was slightly stunned. She felt a little embarrassed. After all, it was because of Zhao Tianan. However, Mu Hin still smiled at Ma Xiaofeng in a friendly manner. Chapter 1071. She didn't expect Mu Hin to smile at her. However, after being stunned, Ma Xiaofeng also smiled at Mu Hin. Ma Xiaofeng thought that since Mu Hin knew how to pretend, she knew how to pretend too. It wasn't like she couldn't be compared to Mu Hin when it came to pretending. "Come on, be careful," Ma Xiaofeng said with some enthusiasm. Looking at the friendly smile on Ma Xiaofeng's face, Mu Hin was slightly touched. Because of the rumors, the people in Shui Lan village didn't like her. No one treated her well when they saw her, except for Zhao Yun's family members. Now that Ma Xiaofeng was smiling at her in a friendly manner, she should be the first person to be kind to her. Therefore, when she saw Ma Xiaofeng, Mu Hin's heart had a better impression of her. "Okay." Mu Hin responded with a smile and smiled at Ma Xiaofeng again. After feeling Ma Xiaofeng's kindness, Mu Hin felt that because of her, Zhao Tianan and Ma Xiaofeng had a conflict. She felt quite uncomfortable in her heart. The two girls were about the same age. They chatted while washing clothes, so they could talk more together. After chatting for a while, Mu Hin felt that Ma Xiaofeng was even better. Only such a good girl was worthy of Zhao Tianan. Mu Hin knew in her heart that Zhao Tianan was still thinking about Ma Xiaofeng. Because she knew this, even if she also liked Zhao Tianan and had feelings for Zhao Tianan, she didn't tell Zhao Tianan about it. If she confessed her feelings and was rejected by Zhao Tianan, she was afraid that she wouldn't be able to be friends with Zhao Tianan in the future. Therefore, it was better not to tell Zhao Tianan. That way, They wouldn't feel awkward when they were together. Now that he saw Ma Xiaofeng, Mu Hin suddenly felt that he could help set them up. After all, there shouldn't be anything between her and Zhao Tianan, so she might as well help the two of them. Mu Hin guessed that there must be some misunderstanding between Zhao Tianan and Ma Xiaofeng. In that case, it would be good to solve the misunderstanding. She then turned to Ma Xiaofeng and asked, Xiaofeng, what happened between you and Tianan? Did the two of you have a conflict? Facing Mu Hin's concerned gaze, Ma Xiaofeng snorted coldly in her heart. Act. This B***TCH really knows how to act. She was clearly the one who had seduced Ma Xiaofeng, but now Mu Hin was saying such things. Although Zhao Yun had a problem with it, she didn't express it verbally. Instead, she smiled and said, Tianan and I had a conflict, and now Tianan is ignoring me. With that, Ma Xiaofeng lowered his head sadly. Seeing Ma Xiaofeng like this, Mu Hin felt a little sympathetic. The two of you are doing fine, so why did you have a conflict? Is there anything I can help you with? Tell me and I'll help you, Mu Hin said sincerely. If there was anything she could help Ma Xiaofeng with, she would definitely help. Ma Xiaofeng wished that Mu Hin would disappear. As long as she disappeared, she would be fine. No matter how big the conflict between her and Zhao Tianan was, it would be resolved. Thank you. Sigh, this is something that happened between Tianan and me. You can't help much, Ma Xiaofeng said and sighed heavily, looking very sad. Mu Hin frowned slightly and sighed as well. All right then. If there's anything you need help with, just let me know. I'll help you talk to Tianan later. Thank you so much. On the surface, Ma Xiaofeng smiled warmly and was very grateful to Mu Hin. However, in her heart, she could only grit her teeth. Chapter 1072. Did she really think that she cared? She pretended to be so good, but she was just a slut. Only Zhao Tianan would be stupid enough to be bewitched by such a slut. Mu Hin smiled and said, You're welcome. As long as Zhao Tianan was happy in the future. When Ma Xiaofeng heard Mu Hin say, You're welcome, she became even angrier. This Mu Xian, she really thinks she's something. What the hell is she? The more Ma Xiaofeng thought about it, the angrier she got. No, she had to teach this slut a lesson. Ma Xiaofeng's eyes moved, and a scheming thought emerged in her mind. Seeing that Mu Hin was about to wring the clothes, she said to Mu Hin, you can't do it alone. Let me help you. Mu Hin was slightly stunned and looked at Ma Xiaofeng. She was a little embarrassed and said, This isn't a good idea, is it? Ma Xiaofeng smiled and said, It's okay. What's not good about it? It's too much trouble for you. Mu Hin lowered her head and said weakly. Very few people helped her, so when others showed her kindness, she was not used to it. Just like now. It's no trouble. It's not easy for you to wring it out alone. The clothes are so big. Let me help you. Mu Hin nodded and replied, Thank you. Ma Xiaofeng waved her hand and said, It's okay. You're welcome. Okay. With that, the two of them wrung the water together. Just as they finished wringing the clothes, they heard a splash. It was the sound of someone falling into the water. The people on the shore hurriedly looked into the river and saw Ma Xiaofeng struggling in the water. Then came the screams of the women. Xiaofeng fell into the river. Come and save her. Xiaofeng girl fell into the water. Hurry up. Otherwise, Xiaofeng girl won't be able to hold on. Yeah, hurry up. Someone go and call Sister Chen. Tell her that Xiaofeng girl fell into the water. I'll go. You guys go and save them. Good. As the women spoke, they hurriedly ran to the riverside and looked at Ma Xiaofeng in the water. Hey, we don't know how to swim. How can we save people? Yes. Is there a man here? Otherwise, you can jump down to save Xiaofeng girl. Come, I've got a long stick. Let Xiaofeng grab one end and we'll drag her ashore. That's a good idea. Let's hurry up. Good. Therefore, several women went to Ma Xiaofeng and hurriedly handed over the long sticks. They shouted to Ma Xiaofeng, who was struggling in the river, Little Feng, quickly catch it. Ma Xiaofeng heard the women's cries and struggled to grab the wooden stick. The women worked together and dragged Ma Xiaofeng ashore. Little Feng girl, how are you? Are you all right? AI. Luckily everyone is here. Otherwise, what would happen to little phone girl? She would probably drown to death. Fortunately, little Feng is a lucky girl. After Ma Xiaofeng was dragged ashore, she coughed heavily a few times and coughed out the water in her stomach. Little Feng girl, how are you? Are you all right? Ma Xiaofeng waved her hand. Cough, cough, thank you aunties. I am fine now. Several women saw that Ma Xiaofeng's face had turned red from coughing and sighed slightly. Chapter 1073. She was probably trying to make them worry. She was such a sensible and good girl. Little Feng, come, let me pat you down. A woman stepped forward and patted Ma Xiaofeng's back. Ma Xiaofeng spat out a few more mouthfuls of water. Cough, cough. Sigh, this girl is choking badly. Luckily, we pulled her up in time. Otherwise, what would have happened? Isn't that so? She's fine, she's fine. She's really lucky. Thank you, aunties. Ma Xiaofeng finished coughing and started to express her gratitude. The few women waved their hands. It's fine, it's fine. Little Feng, we're from the same village. You don't have to be so polite. But speaking of which, why did you fall into the water? That's right. Little Feng, why did you fall into the water? At this point, Ma Xiaofeng lowered her head and looked at Mu Hin. Mu Hin was originally shocked by this sudden situation. She only heaved a sigh of relief when she saw that Ma Xiaofeng had been rescued. She was about to go forward and ask Ma Xiaofeng about her condition, but she did not expect that Ma Xiaofeng would look at her when she was questioned. Mu Hin's heart tightened. She had a bad feeling about this. Could Ma Xiaofeng say that she had pushed her? She had found it strange earlier. Why would Ma Xiaofeng fall into the water out of the blue? Now, it seemed that Ma Xiaofeng had deliberately fallen into the water. At this thought, Mu Hin shook her head and denied this conjecture. It couldn't be. Ma Xiaofeng looked like a nice person. She would not do such a thing. But why was she looking at her? Mu Hin looked at Ma Xiaofeng nervously, thinking that Ma Xiaofeng had something to say to her. They stared at Ma Xiaofeng, then at Mu Hin. The women on the shore also looked at Mu Hin. She recalled that there were only Mu Hin and Ma Xiaofeng together just now. If Ma Xiaofeng did not know how to jump down herself, then it could only be Mu Hin who pushed her down. Thus, the women on the shore began to discuss among themselves. They felt that it must have been Mu Hin who had pushed her. You little girl from another village, how can your heart be so ruthless? That's right, but our Xueqi village bullied them. How can that be? We can't let her bully others as she pleases. I'll have a good talk with Mu Lan later. This kind of person can't stay in our village. Exactly. Little phone girl is so pitiful. Let's go help her, teach her a lesson. All right. These women rushed to Mu Hin and pushed and shoved Mu Hin, saying, Little slut, teach her a lesson. Let's see if you dare to bully others in the future. The women did not show any mercy when they hit, and they used a lot of strength. Mu Hin was pushed straight to the ground, and her but hurt from the fall. Mu Hin was even more at a loss after being pushed by these women. She muttered, I didn't. She's quite stubborn with her words. She didn't admit that she did it. This girl's character is really terrible. Sigh, how can this kind of person stay in the village? Isn't that so? I heard that she seduces people. She even seduced those men from the family Zhu. Really? The women who had never heard of this before came forward curiously and began to gossip. Chapter 1074. After all, she's her younger sister. Mulan is a kind-hearted child. She probably can't bear to chase her away. Then let's keep her around to harm others. I heard that all the men in the family Zhu are bewitched by her. As the women spoke, they glanced at Mu Hin's face. Seeing that Mu Hin was quite pretty and young, they felt that it was normal for men to be bewitched by such a woman. Everyone, you have to keep an eye on your men. Don't let this little B*tch seduce the family Zhu, and then run out to seduce other men in the village. Of course we have to keep an eye on her. Men are lustful to begin with. Once a woman takes the initiative, it'll be even worse. Isn't that so? I think it's useless for us to keep an eye on her. It's just a temporary solution. What if we don't pay attention one day? Won't the men in the family be seduced by her? I think the best thing to do is to chase this B*tch out of our village. Are we still afraid that our men will be seduced? Yes, yes, yes. It's best to chase her out of the village. We don't have to think so much. Hearing that the women wanted to chase Mu Hin away, Ma Xiaofeng saw that she had achieved her goal and her lips curled into an imperceptible smile. She was still too inexperienced to fight with her. Mu Hin was scared out of her wits by these fierce women. Coupled with the nasty words they said, she didn't know what to say. Other than defending herself, I didn't, she had nothing else to say. She could only look at Ma Xiaofeng for help. Ma Xiaofeng knew that she didn't push her. As long as she stepped forward to explain clearly, everything would be fine. Ma Xiaofeng met Mu Hin's eyes, and a scheming look flashed across her eyes. She walked in front of Mu Hin and shielded Mu Hin behind her. She said to the women, "Aunties, please don't misunderstand Mu Hin. I don't think it was Mu Hin who pushed me. Maybe I accidentally fell into the water." Ma Xiaofeng's words sounded like she was trying to cover something up. When the women heard this, they felt that Ma Xiaofeng was kind-hearted and said that because she was protecting Mu Hin. Hence they said to Ma Xiaofeng earnestly, "Little Xiaofeng, don't be silly. How could you be the one who fell into the water? I think it was Mu Hin." "That's right. We haven't seen many people fall into the water by accident. Sigh, Xiaofeng, this girl is just too kind-hearted, too silly." "Xiaofeng, you don't have to protect others, you should take care of yourself first." "That's right. You're soaked in water, so you must be very cold. Little Xiaofeng, go back first and change your clothes. We'll help you deal with this little slut who pushed you into the water." Ma Xiaofeng looked at Mu Hin awkwardly. "Mu Hin, I'm sorry. It's all my fault for implicating you. They didn't believe me when I told them." Seeing Ma Xiaofeng frowning and worrying about her, Mu Hin pursed her lips. "It's not your fault. Don't blame yourself." Ma Xiaofeng sighed and said, "Mu Hin, I know you didn't push me. I must have slipped in by accident. You're quite pitiful. You almost drowned. Don't worry about me. Go back and change your clothes." Ma Xiaofeng pretended to be worried and looked at Mu Hin. "Then you're alone." Chapter 1075. Then I'll go back first. Mu Hin nodded her head. She couldn't possibly drag Ma Xiaofeng along with her. These women were targeting her and Ma Xiaofeng had already explained it to her. What else could she do? Now she could only deal with these women. Ma Xiaofeng turned around and left. She really did need to change her clothes. It was very cold, very cold. Otherwise, he would definitely want to stay and watch the show. Fortunately, after confirming that Mu Hin would definitely be unlucky, Ma Xiaofeng felt very pleased when she left. She wanted to see Mu Hin being bullied by these women. The women in the village were not to be trifled with. Mu Hin was just a little girl. How could she deal with these people? Even their spittle was enough to drown him. After Ma Xiaofeng left, Mu Hin had to face the abuse of these women again. They wanted her to get out of the village. This feeling of being wronged did not feel good. Hence, Mu Hin could only bite her lips and bear with this grievance. Even if she explained, these people would not listen. Anyway, they had already judged her to be the kind of person she was. Mu Hin could only stop explaining and carried the clothes in the wooden basin and prepared to go back. However, these women did not give up and blocked Mu Hin, not allowing her to leave. "What do you want?" Mu Hin frowned and asked. "What? We haven't made things clear. You want to leave just like that? Isn't that right? Little slut, you can't let her leave." Yes, you can't leave. We still have to settle the score." As the few women spoke, they surrounded Mu Hin. Mu Hin lowered her head, not knowing what to say. What score were they going to settle with her? She did not push Ma Xiaofeng. Moreover, even if she had pushed Ma Xiaofeng, she had not pushed them. What score were they going to settle with her? Now, he couldn't defend himself, but he could not defend himself either. Anyway, these people just didn't want to let her go. Mu Hin was suddenly at a loss. What should she do now? Should she just let these people bully her? At this moment, a person walked over. It was none other than Mu Lan's sister-in-law, Madam Chi. Madam Chi liked to join in the fun, so when she saw a group of women gathered together, she hurried over. He wanted to see what was going on. When he saw that Mu Hin was surrounded, he became even more curious. She pulled the woman aside and asked, what's going on? What happened? The woman replied, this little slut pushed Xiao Feng girl into the river. She's so vicious. What we're doing now is teaching him how to behave. That's right. How does the coach behave? Seducing men is one thing, but now you're bullying people. She's not from Xuelan village. We can't let her be so unreasonable. By the way, Family Zhu's sister-in-law, isn't Mu Hin your second sister-in-law's younger sister? You two live together every day, so you should know, right? What's this woman like? Is she seducing and bullying people? A woman saw Madam Chi and asked her curiously. Thus, all the women present looked at Madam Chi. It could be said that Madam Chi had more right to speak than anyone else present. When Madam Chi saw that everyone was looking at her, she was stunned for a moment before she realized what was going on. Chapter 1076. Thinking of how Zhu Dainiu was bewitched by Mu Hin, Madam Chi became angry. This little slut, she had to let her know how powerful she was. Madam Chi smiled embarrassedly and said, Her? Do I even need to say it? There's a lot of gossip in the village. Sigh, speaking of which, my husband despises me every day because of her. It's as if he's bewitched. As for me, I'm just an old woman. How can I be compared to a 16 or 17-year-old girl? Men will definitely like this kind of girl. After Madam Chi finished speaking, her tone carried some resentment and grievance. When the crowd heard this, they were even more certain that Mu Hin was seducing people. If even Madam Chi said so, how could the rumors be false? The onlooking women looked at Mu Hin with even more strange expressions. The women said to Madam Chi sympathetically, Sigh, Family Zhu's sister-in-law, you're really pitiful. We're still all right, after all, we don't live together. You guys live in the same courtyard all day. Your husband can't avoid meeting this little slut. Isn't that so? No wonder he's bewitched. As the saying goes, there's no smoke without fire. It seems that the rumors in the village about this little slut seducing people are not without reason. That's right, otherwise, why would they talk about her and not others? Look at her face, she's definitely seducing men. Seeing that Mu Hin was being scolded, Madam Chi was very pleased. This little slut deserved to be scolded. She wanted to see how badly Mu Hin would be bullied and taught a lesson. Let's not be soft-hearted. Hurry up and do it. Let's slap her a few times first, then scratch her face and give her a good beating. She'll naturally behave herself after that. That's a good idea. All right, hurry up and do it. A woman grabbed Mu Hin and grabbed Mu Hin's hair, wanting to drag Mu Hin away. Mu Hin screamed. Just as Mu Hin was about to be taught a lesson, a man suddenly rushed over and shielded Mu Hin. The man who came was Zhu Dainiu. When he saw that Mu Hin was being bullied, Zhu Dainiu was very protective of her. She angrily said to the group of women, What are you doing? What are you doing? So many people are bullying a little girl. After that, Zhu Dainiu asked Mu Hin, How are you? Are you okay? Did they hurt you? Tell me, and I'll help you teach him a lesson. Mu Hin quickly shook his head. Although Zhu Dainiu came out to help him, he felt that it was better not to come out. Because if Zhu Dainiu helped her, it would seem that there was something between her and Zhu Dainiu. She would be caught and talked about non-stop. Dainiu, you're really protecting this little bitch. Looks like Family Zhu's sister-in-law was right. He's really been seduced by this little bitch. Look at how protective he is of her. I don't see him being so protective of his wife. How can you compare them like that? After all, the little bitch has a pretty face, and we're all old women now. And you still say that we're bullying her. Haha. I say, Dainiu, you already have a wife. How can you think of other people's little girls? We're not teaching her a lesson for no reason. There's a reason for that. This little bitch needs to be taught a lesson, or else she won't behave. Yes. Dainiu, just move aside. Your wife is here, and you're protecting another woman. I'm not afraid of embarrassment. Chapter 1077. If family Zhu's sister-in-law sees this, she will definitely be sad. How can her man protect another woman? Isn't that so? As these women spoke, Zhu Dainiu's sharp gaze turned towards Madame Qi. Actually, when Zhu Dainiu's gaze swept over her, she trembled all over. She felt that Zhu Dainiu's gaze was as if he wanted to eat her up. Madame Qi knew that Zhu Dainiu would definitely teach her a lesson when they returned home tonight if he did not lay a hand on her. Madame Qi frowned and felt that she was unlucky. Why did Zhu Dainiu come over all of a sudden? Coincidentally, he bumped into her again. These women all had cheap mouths. Otherwise, she could have hidden behind them and sneaked away. Zhu Dainiu was even angrier after being scolded. However, he didn't blush or have his heart skip a beat when facing these long-winded women. What nonsense are you talking about? You think you're in the right when you're bullying others? What do you mean by Mu Hin seduced me? Speak clearly, don't talk nonsense. Oh, Dainiu, isn't it true? Look at how protective you are of her. You haven't been seduced? Then why don't you tell me why you're here to protect her? That's right, your wife already said that Mu Hin seduced you, but you still don't admit it. Sigh. Family Zhu's sister-in-law is so pitiful to have such a man. That's right. When Zhu Dainiu heard this, he glared at Madame Qi angrily. This B***TCH still dared to talk about him like this outside and embarrass him. When they returned home, he would probably not be honest if he did not teach her a lesson. In the face of these women's nagging, Zhu Dainiu said angrily, "You're really nosy. What does this have to do with you? Mu Hin is my second sister-in-law's younger sister. What did I do wrong to protect her? I don't know what each of you is thinking. Seriously. Look at all of you. It would be strange if a man's soul wasn't seduced by another woman. TSK. 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 Zhu Dainiu, what you say is really interesting. That's right. How interesting. Are you talking about others or yourself? Other men wouldn't dare to make a sound after being seduced by a little slut. Look at you, you're so smug. Stubborn. I really have to hand it to this man. How could Zhu Dainiu, a man, win against these women? Zhu Dainiu felt like his head was about to explode as they spoke one after another. Zhu Dainiu said angrily to them, "Shut up. You're so annoying." He was really good at slandering others. Let me tell you, you better watch your mouth and don't spout nonsense. Otherwise, I'll teach you a lesson when I catch you. Ah, you're really something. Who's afraid of who? Do you dare to hit us? Don't dare? Why wouldn't he dare? If you don't keep your mouth clean, I'll slap whoever I see. Haha, I don't believe that they would dare to do anything to us. Haha, they'll beat up whoever they see. Haha, they probably think that we're afraid. Do they think that our men are just decorations? Isn't that so? He's really attentive as a brother-in-law. Zhu Dainiu realized that these women were much more shameless than men. One after another, he couldn't even out-talk them. You're all crazy. I can't be bothered with you. Zhu Dainiu said angrily. Then, he prepared to leave with Mu Hin. However, the women continued to block them. Chapter 1078. You're not allowed to leave. Mu Hin hasn't been properly dealt with yet, and you're already allowed to leave. That's right. We must deal with this B***TCH today. The women spoke resolutely and blocked the way. Zhu Dainiu's eyebrows twitched. Indeed, that saying was right. It was difficult to deal with vile people and women. This group of unreasonable women, who would be able to fight against them? You guys better not go overboard. Otherwise, I'll really make a move. Zhu Dainiu clenched his fists. Mu Hin looked up at Zhu Dainiu. She didn't know why, but she suddenly felt a little touched. Regardless of Zhu Dainiu's motive for standing up for her, this man was on her side. Moreover, he stood up for her when she was being bullied. Even though Zhu Dainiu liked her, or perhaps he had ulterior motives for being so attentive, Mu Hin said weakly to Zhu Dainiu, "Brother Dainiu, don't bother about me. You should leave on your own, lest others misunderstand that there's something going on between the two of us." How can that be? Look at these shrews. They'll bully you to death later. Mulan said softly. It's okay, Brother Dainiu. Anyway, It wasn't the first time she had been bullied. Even if they bullied her again, she wouldn't feel anything. When she was in the Mu family, she had endured worse things than this. Perhaps this was her fate. If that was the case, then she shouldn't struggle. You. Just as Zhu Daniu was about to say something, Mulan came over. In the village, besides the many women who liked to cause trouble and make things difficult for others, there were also many kind-hearted people. When they saw this, they quickly went to the family Zhu and told Mulan about it. Only then did Mulan rush over. Seeing that her younger sister was being bullied by a group of people, Mulan's fiery temper rose. She rushed to the front of these women and scolded, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you trying to bully my sister? Let me tell you, with me here, if anyone dares to touch a single strand of her hair, don't blame me for being merciless." After Mulan finished speaking, she rolled up her sleeves, looking like she was ready to fight at any time. If it was in the past, Mulan might not be like this. After separating from the family and spending some time with Zhao Yuner, Mulan figured out one thing. She couldn't be too weak. She had to be more domineering. This was the only way to ensure that he and his family would not be bullied. "Ah, Mulan, you're here. Just in time. We really want to discuss something with you." Mu Hin frowned and replied coldly, "Discuss something? What's the matter?" "Mulan, your younger sister isn't well behaved in our village. We want you to send her back to her parents' home as soon as possible. Don't let her harm others in our village." "That's right, our village doesn't welcome such people. With such a woman in our village, all of us will be scared witless. Who knows if our men will be seduced by her? Mulan, since she's not from our village, she can't stay for too long. We all have opinions. If you don't let her go back, we'll look for Li Zheng later and chase her out directly." Mulan listened to these women talking one after another, and finally understood what was going on. Chapter 1079. What do you mean we're too nosy? We're just telling the truth. Mulan put her hands on her hips and said, "No one can chase my sister away. She's not living in your house. Don't tell me you don't have relatives living in the village? Besides, there's no rule in our village to chase people away. I'm not afraid even if Li Zhang is the judge. Others are others, but your sister is your sister. Who asked your sister to seduce others and bully Xiaofeng?" Mulan sneered again and said, "Your mouths are grown on your bodies. You can say whatever you want. But my sister isn't the kind of person you're talking about. Seducing others and bullying others? Do you have evidence? Don't make a fuss if you don't have evidence. Everyone saw it with their own eyes. What evidence do you need? Then let me ask you. You said my sister seduced my brother. Brother, tell me, did Mu Hin seduce you?" Mulan looked at Zhu Daniu as she spoke. Zhu Daniu shook his head and said, "People like to spread rumors. When did Mu Hin seduce me?" Mulan added, "I'm not even worried that my man was seduced by my sister. Why are you worrying? Come and find me when your man's soul is really seduced. I won't say anything then. But I'll say it now. If anyone dares to bully my sister, I'll fight them to the death." After Mulan finished speaking, she looked like she was going to fight to the death. It was said that the upright were afraid of the unreasonable, and the unreasonable were afraid of those who didn't care about their lives. Mulan was acting like she didn't care about her life. The women present didn't dare to go up and provoke her. "Mulan, who are you trying to scare?" Mulan curled her lips and said with a smile, "Who am I trying to scare? Then you can try and see if I'm trying to scare you." Okay, everyone stop arguing. What can we do when we meet someone who's unreasonable? Let's go. Sigh, let's go. But Mulan, you have to remember what you said. If we catch your sister seducing someone's man, don't blame us for being rude. The women began to leave in a scattered manner. Madame Qi had long taken the opportunity to run away. If she was caught by Zhu Daniu now, Zhu Daniu would skin her alive. Mulan heaved a sigh of relief in her heart when she saw that the women had dispersed. She was really afraid that these women would make a move and hurt Mu Hin. "Let's go, Xin. Let's go back." Mu Hin replied softly, On the way, Mu Hin did not say a word. He was in low spirits. Seeing this, Mulan sighed and asked, "Xin, what's wrong with you? Did they hurt you?" As Mu Lan spoke, she checked Mu Hin's body. She realized that Mu Hin's wrist was pinched red. It was obvious that she had hurt herself when she was struggling. A trace of heartache flashed across Mu Lan's eyes. She said softly to Mu Hin, "Come, I'll rub it for you. I'll apply some ointment when we get back." Mu Lan's words caused Mu Hin's eyes to redden. Tears started to flow down her cheeks. Mu Lan panicked. "What's wrong? Is it very painful? Tell me, what's wrong with you?" Faced with Mu Lan's concern, Mu Hin sobbed. "Sister, you're so good to me." Mu Lan pursed her lips. "Silly girl, you're my sister. If I'm not good to you, who else can I be good to?" "But sister, they said that I seduced brother-in-law. Do you believe them? They even said that I pushed Ma Xiaofeng into the water." Chapter 1080. Really, big sis? Mu Lan nodded. "Of course it's true. It's not like I haven't seen them spouting nonsense. Besides, I'm afraid you already have someone in your heart, right?" Meeting Mu Lan's scrutinizing eyes, Mu Hin blushed slightly. Haha, I know even if you don't say it. You're probably thinking about Yun-Er's younger brother right now, right?" "Big sis," Mu Hin hurriedly called out, indicating for her to stop spouting nonsense. Mu Lan chuckled and said, "All right, silly girl. It's fine if you're shy in front of others, but why are you being shy in front of me? I think Yun-Er's younger brother is not bad. He's honest and hardworking. If you're with him, I think it'll be quite good." "Big sis, you're still spouting nonsense. He has someone he likes, but he doesn't like me. Then who does he like?" "Ma Xiaofeng," Mu Hin muttered. Mu Lan was silent for a moment before saying, "Don't worry. As long as he's not blind, he'll know that he'll choose you. Tianan isn't a fool. I believe that he'll choose you in his heart." "Big sis." "Haha, all right, let's not talk about it anymore. If we continue, you'll probably be even more embarrassed. Sigh, my sister is good at everything, but she's too thin-skinned." "Big sis." All right, let's not talk about it anymore. Let's go back. Look at you." Mu Hin had no choice but to follow behind Mu Lan. At Zhao Yun'er's house. After the family had lunch, Mu Lianfeng and Zhao Yun'er casually chatted for a while. Zhao Yun'er was more concerned about the results of Mu Lianfeng's trip to the capital. Zhao Yun'er only heaved a sigh of relief when Mu Lianfeng said that everything was a success. "Yun'er, His Majesty is very happy this time. I also reported to His Majesty that this was your idea. When the matters here are settled, I can take you to the Imperial Palace to receive the reward. At that time, the Emperor will grant us a marriage." Speaking of this, Zhao Yun'er was somewhat excited. It did not matter to her whether she was rewarded or not. What mattered most was that Mu Lianfeng wanted to bestow marriage upon her. Zhao Yun'er knew that the Emperor's decision to grant a marriage was completely different. If it was the Emperor who granted the marriage, no matter who it was, they could not object. Even if old Madame Mu disagreed. No matter what, it was more important to her. "All right," Zhao Yun'er replied. She was also curious about what the palace looked like. Although he had been to the Forbidden City in the 21st century, this might be a little different. The architecture of this era should have the characteristics of this era. Since His Majesty was satisfied, then it was done. Now, Mu Lianfeng had nothing to worry about. He could have a good time during this period of time. The next day, Zhao Yun'er went out to set up a stall to sell breakfast. Although she did not want to go out, she had to earn money. Otherwise, how could she eat and live? After resting for a day, Zhao Yun'er's physical strength had almost recovered. On the way, Liang Jinqiao muttered, "Hey, Yun'er, your sister Ping has to go back to her parents' home today. I wonder how she's doing these 2 days after she got married." Under normal circumstances, when a daughter got married, she had to go back to her parents' home on the 3rd day. This was called going back to her parents' home, which was also called going back to her parents' home. Chapter 1081. Zhao Yun'er's guess was actually correct. Zhao Ping was very attentive when it came to family qin. It wasn't that she wanted to be diligent, but she was afraid that if she didn't work, Qin Yuan would dislike her and chase her away. She didn't want to leave. She wanted nothing more than to be with Qin Yuan every day. As Zhao Ping busied herself, she thought about how she felt when she made love with Qin Yuan last night. She instantly felt great. After tasting that feeling, she knew how good it was to do it, not to mention doing it with Qin Yuan. It was no wonder that her mother would make such loud noises when she accidentally heard her parents' movements in the room. That was because she was so comfortable that she couldn't hold it in. She originally thought that it was because she was uncomfortable, but she found out last night that it was because she was comfortable. At the thought of this, Zhao Ping felt a little excited. At this moment, she only hoped that the sky would quickly turn dark so that she could light the incense and do it with Qin Yuan alone. After Mu Chunfeng taught Zhao Ping once for breakfast, he let Zhao Ping take care of lunch by herself. Zhao Ping went to the kitchen somewhat reluctantly. "Mother, I can't do it alone. Why don't you come too?" Mu Chunfeng replied. "Ping Mother still has other things to do. Didn't I teach you once this morning? Why haven't you learned it yet?" Zhao Ping pursed her lips in grievance and said, "Mother, you only taught me once. Of course I don't know how to do it. You should at least teach me a few more times." "You silly girl, why are you so stupid? Cooking is such a simple thing. Do you need me to teach you a few more times? You can figure it out by yourself." "Mother." Zhao Ping pursed her lips. After being scolded by Mu Chunfeng, she was a little scared. All right, you can go to the kitchen first. Go and do your own things. When Mother is done with the things at hand, I'll come back and teach you then." Mu Chunfeng replied impatiently. Zhao Ping frowned and entered the kitchen alone. "Really?" Zhao Ping muttered. What? Her mother was too much, wasn't she? How could anyone learn to cook after learning it once? Cooking was also a skill. If one wanted to learn it without a teacher, it was still difficult. However, since Mu Chunfeng was not coming over, she felt helpless and could only work on her own. She was not good at cooking. She had only seen how others did it. Relying on her memory, Zhao Ping got busy. Not long after, smoke could be seen in the kitchen. However, the smell of the smoke was a little smoky. Zhao Ping was almost in tears from the singing and couldn't stop coughing. Cough, 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 cough. Zhao Ping wiped her tears and muttered, "Why is it so smoky? My mother and the others didn't smoke so much when they were cooking." Zhao Ping didn't understand this. She didn't see anything wrong with her burning. Zhao Ping could only continue to cry and cook. The smoke in the kitchen was a little thicker. Qin Yuan, who had just returned from the field, saw such a big smoke and thought that his house's kitchen was on fire. He rushed into the kitchen. After rushing in, he was also choked by the thick smoke. After coughing a few times, Qin Yuan saw Zhao Ping in the thick smoke. This stupid woman, she was still here. Chapter 1082. Zhao Ping looked at Qin Yuan with teary eyes and said, "Big brother Yuan, why are you so fierce? When did I rebel? I was cooking." Hearing Zhao Ping say that she was cooking, Qin Yuan snorted coldly and said, "Cooking? Zhao Ping tell me, is this how you cook? You made the kitchen full of smoke. Those who don't know might think that our kitchen is on fire." "Big brother Yuan, isn't there a fire?" Zhao Ping mumbled, then said with some grievance, "Besides, I don't know how to cook. I asked Mother to help me, but she didn't help. So I went to the kitchen to figure it out myself." Qin Yuan looked at Zhao Ping as if he was looking at an idiot and said, "According to the way you are burning, even if you didn't burn down my kitchen today, you will definitely burn it all down some other day." Zhao Ping, it's fine if you say that you're ugly, but why are you so stupid? Which family's girl doesn't know how to cook at this age? Besides, my mother taught you once. Now you're blaming my mother. Don't you feel embarrassed? With Qin Yuan scolding, Zhao Ping pursed her lips and said, "Big brother Yuan, I'm your wife. How can you say that about me?" "Ha ha." Qin Yuan laughed coldly. She was his wife. If it weren't for his parents' persuasion, would he have agreed to let Zhao Ping marry into his family? What a joke. The more he looked at Zhao Ping's ugly and stupid face, the angrier Qin Yuan got. At this time, Qin Dahai also came back from the field. He shouted in the direction of the kitchen, "Is the food ready?" If it's ready, let's eat. I'm so hungry. Men tend to get hungry more easily when they work in the fields, because they use a lot of strength when they work. Hearing Qin Dahai's voice, Qin Yuan asked Zhao Ping'er. My father asked if the food is ready. Is it ready now? Zhao Ping'er nodded. Big brother Yuan, it's almost done. It's almost done burning. Qin Yuan nodded, but he felt a little uneasy. He always felt that Zhao Ping'er was unreliable. Since it's almost done, you should hurry up and get busy. My father and I haven't eaten yet. I'm exhausted from all the work and I'm starving. Got it, big brother Yuan. I'll be quick. You go out and wait first. We'll be able to eat in a while. Qin Yuan wiped the sweat off his forehead and walked out of the kitchen. He really didn't want to spend another second with Zhao Ping'er. After all, he felt annoyed whenever he saw Zhao Ping'er. And then hurry up and stop dawdling. Got it, big brother Yuan. Qin Yuan went out of the kitchen and waited for a while. At first, he chose to believe in Zhao Ping'er, thinking that this woman might not be so stupid. Who knew that he had overestimated Zhao Ping'er? After a while, the smoke in the kitchen didn't dissipate. Instead, there was a burning smell. Qin Yuan's eyebrows twitched, and he instantly felt that something was wrong. Just as he was hesitating, Mu Chunfeng had already rushed into the kitchen. Ah, Ping'er lass, what did you burn? Cough, cough, cough. It's choking. How did you burn this torch? Mu Chunfeng questioned angrily. Zhao Ping'er looked at Mu Chunfeng pitifully and said, Mother, I don't know how it burned. It burned and burned. I also burned the torch according to what you said. I don't know why there's so much smoke. Chapter 1083. Mu Chunfeng hurriedly looked at the stove. The thick pile of grass and wooden sticks were all piled together without a single gap. It was strange that there wasn't much smoke. She had never seen anyone start a fire like this in all her years. Not to mention that Zhao Ping'er was an adult. Even a child of a few years old would know how to start a fire, right? Ping'er lass, you're already an adult. Why don't you know how to start a fire? Mother even taught you today. Zhao Ping'er pursed her lips and said, Mother, I'm just following your instructions. Isn't it just like this? Mu Chunfeng glared fiercely at Zhao Ping'er. What do you mean by that? Are you an idiot? When did I teach you to start a fire like this? Mother, it's like this from the start. Look at how stubborn you are. Who would start a fire by piling everything inside? It's so full that it would be strange if there wasn't such a big smoke in the kitchen. Mu Chunfeng cursed. She was shedding tears because of the thick smoke. It was really too smoky and mesmerizing. She couldn't stay here for too long. Otherwise she would really kill someone. Oh. I was wondering why there was such a big smoke. So it's because of this. Mother, I know. Next time, I won't make such a big smoke when I start a fire. Mu Chunfeng snorted softly. She could forgive Zhao Ping'er for the first time. But if Zhao Ping'er did it again, she would give her a good scolding. All right, then be careful next time. Don't start a fire like this. After saying that, Mu Chunfeng thought of the burnt smell again. Ping, alas, what did you burn? As he said that, Mu Chunfeng had already opened the pot. Then, she found a black lump in the pot. Mu Chunfeng had a bad feeling. He hurriedly pointed at the black thing in the pot and asked, Ping'er girl, what did you put in there? When Zhao Ping'er saw Mu Chunfeng's sullen face, she trembled and said, Mother, it's the vegetables in the cupboard. Mu Chunfeng rushed to the cupboard when he heard that. When he opened it, he found that the meat that was originally placed inside was gone. There was no need to think about who had taken it. It was a good bowl of meat, and it was left over from the banquet. There were not many dishes left at home, and Mu Chunfeng wanted to eat it slowly. He did not expect that Zhao Ping'er would spoil it like this. Zhao Ping'er could feel the chill emanating from Mu Chunfeng's body and asked worriedly, Mother, what's wrong with you? Are you angry? Mother, I wanted to reheat the vegetables in the bowl, but I didn't expect them to burn accidentally. Mu Chunfeng was so angry that his whole body trembled. How could she burn a dish when she was just reheating it? He really had to hand it to her. If this kind of thing were to spread, people would probably laugh to death. If it was done by a child, it would be fine. However, Zhao Ping'er was an adult and yet she could burn a dish. It could only be said that there was something wrong with Zhao Ping-er's IQ. This woman was definitely stupid. Mother. Don't be angry. I know I was wrong. I won't do it again. Zhao Ping-er quickly lowered her head and apologized. Mu Chunfeng glared at Zhao Ping-er and felt like he wanted to vent his anger. Next time? You dare to do it again? If there is a next time, won't our family's food be ruined by you? Chapter 1084. Mu Chunfeng felt that he was talking nonsense to Zhao Ping-er. It was simply useless to say anything more. He could only sigh heavily. Sigh, what sin did our family Qin commit? He actually married such a stupid wife. This is simply a rebellion. How are we going to live in the future? After Mu Chunfeng finished nagging, Qin Yuan walked into the kitchen and said to Mu Chunfeng, Mother, what's wrong? Mu Chunfeng slapped his thigh and said to Qin Yuan, Sigh, isn't it all because of this good wife of yours? Just lighting a torch and choking someone to death in our family's kitchen. That's fine. Now, she directly burned the leftover meat from our family's banquet. Sigh, a bowl of meat is worth a lot of money. We can't bear to eat it more than a few times a year, but she directly burned a bowl. After hearing Mu Chunfeng's nagging, Qin Yuan's brows were tightly knitted together. He looked in Zhao Ping-er's direction. Zhao Ping-er's heart tightened. She knew that Qin Yuan would definitely be angry with her again. Big brother Yuan. Qin Yuan could not wait to rush up and give Zhao Ping-er a good beating. However, this idiot Zhao Ping-er, even if he beat her up, it would probably be useless. You don't know anything. Other than eating, you only know how to sleep. Zhao Ping-er, you are really capable. If you still don't learn from my mother properly, see if I don't beat you to death. Also, you wasted a bowl of meat. Don't eat it for lunch today. Big brother Yuan. I'll be hungry if I don't eat. Zhao Ping-er grumbled pitifully. Haha, you actually know that you're hungry. Big brother Yuan. Don't talk to me, mother. Let's cook for lunch ourselves. Let her go hungry alone. Mu Chunfeng nodded. All right, then let's cook for ourselves. Damn, Zhao Ping-er was really unreliable. Fortunately, there were still some leftovers at home. Taking the time to heat them up, it was quite fast. Thus, because of this matter, Zhao Ping-er did not have lunch at noon. Usually, when Zhao Ping-er was in the third branch, she would eat 2 or 3 bowls of rice every meal. Now, her stomach was bloated. She didn't eat much yesterday and didn't eat much for breakfast. The porridge in her stomach had long been digested. She hadn't eaten anything for lunch yet. Zhao Ping-er was so hungry that her chest was sticking to her back. In the afternoon, she felt that her stomach was very empty, but there was nothing to eat. Knowing that the Qin Yuan was angry, Zhao Ping-er didn't dare to steal anything from the kitchen. Otherwise, it would be better if she stole something to fill her stomach. So hungry. Zhao Ping-er mumbled as she rubbed her stomach. She sat on the stool, her entire body feeling weak. Closing her eyes, she suddenly thought of home. These days, because the third branch had been entertaining the men who went to work, it could be said that they had meat for every meal. Although there wasn't much meat, she could at least get a few pieces to eat. Thinking of this, Zhao Ping-er licked the corner of her mouth. She wanted to go home and eat something. After getting married, she realized how good her family was. But thinking about the Qin Yuan again, she still had to stay. Just as she was closing her eyes, someone suddenly walked over and pushed her. Zhao Ping-er was caught off guard and directly fell, landing heavily on the ground. Ouch! Zhao Ping-er cried out in pain. When she looked up, she saw Qin Chuan's face. When he heard Zhao Ping-er crying out in pain from the fall, Qin Chuan laughed out loud. Ha 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 ha, she fell. Qin Chuan laughed as he shouted. Chapter 1085. It was already bad enough that she was hungry. Now that she finally had a chance to rest, she was bullied by an idiot. The more Zhao Ping-er thought about it, the angrier she got. She glared at Qin Chuan angrily. Why did you push me? Hee, it hurts, Qin Chuan mumbled. He didn't answer Zhao Ping-er's question. He was still as excited as before. Zhao Ping-er took a deep breath. Why was she being so calculative with an idiot? If she asked Qin Chuan why he pushed her, would the idiot tell her why? However, Zhao Ping couldn't bear with this grievance. She walked up to Qin Chuan and pushed him to the ground. You idiot, you still know how to bully others. Because I don't dare to bully you? If you do this again, I'll teach you a lesson. After being pushed to the ground by Zhao Ping, Qin Chuan was also in pain. For a moment, he lay on the ground and shouted into the house. Mother, mother, the ugly monster hit me, the ugly monster hit me. After hearing Qin Chuan's shouts, Mu Chunfeng hurriedly rushed out of the house. When he saw Qin Chuan lying on the ground, he hurriedly said to him, Ah, Chuaner, what's wrong with you? Why are you lying on the ground? Hurry up and get up. The ground is too dirty. You'll dirty your clothes later. Although Qin Chuan was an idiot, he was still a piece of flesh that fell from Mu Chunfeng's body. He still treasured Qin Chuan. However, Qin Chuan didn't get up from the ground. He said to Mu Chunfeng, Mother, the ugly monster pushed me, the ugly monster pushed me. As Qin Chuan shouted, he pointed his finger at Zhao Ping. Originally, Mu Chunfeng was unhappy because Zhao Ping had burned the food in the afternoon. His resentment hadn't dissipated yet. Now, Zhao Ping was bullying her idiot son again. Mu Chunfeng said to Zhao Ping, Ping, what are you doing? Mother, he pushed me first. I was sitting properly, but he ran over and pushed me to the ground. It hurts. Zhao Ping began to complain. Mu Chunfeng's brows furrowed as she asked Qin Chuan, Chuaner, why did you push her? She's becoming more and more disobedient. Qin Chuan muttered, Mother, she's an idiot, Chuana doesn't like her. Mu Chunfeng was stunned. Chuan, it doesn't matter if you don't like her. She still has to live with us in the future. After thinking for a moment, Mu Chunfeng said earnestly to Qin Chuan. She to Qin Chuan's to get Qin Chuan's Chuan to live to be Chuan's to Qin Chuan to be to marry to Qin Chuan's. The two of them would still have to sleep together at night. Mother, she's ugly. Chuaner has never seen anyone so ugly. Qin Chuan held Mu Chunfeng's hand and shook it as he spoke. This. Mu Chunfeng didn't know what to say. Chuaner, there's nothing you can do if she's ugly. She was born like this. Mother! Zhao Yuna was gritting her teeth in anger. This idiot, isn't he too much? He actually said that I'm ugly. It's good enough that I didn't call him an idiot. In front of Mu Chunfeng, Zhao Ping couldn't say anything. She could only clench her fists in anger and curse in her heart. This idiot, I'll teach him a lesson later. Chapter 1086. Mother, I don't care. I don't want to see him. How about this, Chuaner, let her cover her face with a piece of cloth? Mu Chunfeng thought for a moment and discussed with Qin Chuan. Qin Chuan's eyes darted around. Mother, I won't be able to see her if she covers her face. Mu Chunfeng nodded. That's right. You won't be able to see her ugly face if she covers her face. All right then, Mother. As long as I don't see her. All right. Mu Chunfeng was very happy that he had coaxed Qin Chuan. Hence he called out to Zhao Ping, hurry up and cover your face with a piece of cloth. Don't scare our Chuan. Mother. Hurry up. Oh. Zhao Ping answered reluctantly, but she could feel the deep disdain from her family Qin. She was just a little ugly. Seriously, what was the use of being so good-looking? In the afternoon, Zhao Ping finally had nothing to do. She thought she could lie down and rest, but she realized that she was thinking too much. From time to time, Qin Chuan's screams could be heard from the courtyard. When Mu Chunfeng needed to work, he would ask Zhao Ping to keep an eye on Qin Chuan and not let him run around. However, how could Zhao Ping keep an eye on a fool? She could only watch him run around. Mother, Qin Chuan shouted at Mu Chunfeng again. Mu Chunfeng rushed over and asked, What's wrong, Chuaner? What's wrong with you? Mother, I peed. Ah, peed? You peed in your pants? Mu Chunfeng hurriedly asked. Qin Chuan nodded. Mu Chunfeng sighed deeply. Sigh, didn't I tell you? Don't pee in your pants. You have to take off your pants to pee. Qin Chuan said with a sobbing voice. Mother, I couldn't hold it in. All right. I couldn't hold it in. Next time, I'll hold it in. Got it, mother. If you feel like peeing, hurry up and go to the latrine or call for your mother. I know. Mu Chunfeng held Qin Chuan's hand and wanted to bring him into the house to change his pants. However, just as she entered the house and was about to take off Qin Chuan's pants, she heard a loud fart. What followed was a foul stench. Mu Chunfeng immediately understood what had happened. Qin Chuan had pooped in his pants. Mu Chunfeng couldn't help but frown as he reprimanded Qin Chuan. You child, I told you to hold it in. Why didn't you hold it in? I've just said it and you've already forgotten. Qin Chuan said to Kimura Yoshi aggrievedly. Mother, you told me to hold my urine, but you didn't tell me to hold my feces. I couldn't hold it in, so I pooped. Mu Chunfeng's face twitched uncontrollably. She didn't know what to say to Qin Chuan. He was a fool. No matter how much she nagged, he wouldn't be able to remember. Sigh, Mu Chunfeng sighed deeply again. Although she felt disgusted, she still had to clean up Qin Chuan. After all, she was his mother. She was born to serve her sons. She didn't know if he had done something wrong in his previous life. In this life, not only was he poor and bitter, he even gave birth to a foolish son. Now he had a strange wife. His family's life was getting worse and worse. All right, let's not talk about you anymore. Hurry up and take off your pants. Mu Chunfeng called out. Chapter 1087. After taking off his pants, everything inside his pants fell out. When Mu Chunfeng saw this, he felt slightly disgusted. Sigh. Chuan, you have to wash up first. Otherwise, the inside of his new pants would be dirty too. Qin Chuan nodded. Mu Chunfeng shouted outside. Ping, hurry up and get some water from the canister. Hearing Mu Chunfeng shout, Zhao Ping, quickly got up even though she was too lazy to move. Otherwise, Mu Chunfeng would probably get anxious and scold her again. Zhao Ping, took a wooden basin to the canister in the kitchen and got some hot water. Then, she rubbed some cold water into it. When she felt that the temperature was suitable, she carried the wooden basin into the house. She had originally thought that Mu Chunfeng would wash his face or do something. When she went in, she was almost scared out of her wits. Because Qin Chuan had taken off his pants and was standing in the house. Zhao Pinger was stunned for a few seconds before she heard Mu Chunfeng roar. You little girl, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and come over. Zhao Pinger swallowed her saliva and muttered to Mu Chunfeng. Mother, he's not wearing pants. Mu Chunfeng said nonchalantly. So what if he's not wearing pants? What's wrong with that? Mother, I can't look. Zhao Pinger muttered. After all, she was still a girl. She and Qin Chuan were not husband and wife. How could she have the nerve to look at Qin Chuan's lower body? However, even though she said that, Zhao Ping couldn't help but glance down at Qin Chuan's lower body. Last night, she was a little groggy, so she didn't see what Qin Yuan's lower body looked like. Now that she saw Qin Chuan, she thought that it should look similar. Aren't they all men's? After staring for a few seconds, Zhao Ping reluctantly retracted her gaze. What's wrong with that? I watch it every day. Now that you've married into our family, you're our family's daughter-in-law. It doesn't matter if you see it. Mu Chunfeng replied indifferently. Mu Chunfeng wanted Zhao Pinger to be Qin Chuan's wife. She would definitely see Qin Chuan's private parts. If he had finished reading it earlier, he would have seen it anyway. It didn't matter if he saw it now. Zhao Pinger replied weakly. Oh, come, Chuaner. Mother will help you wash and wipe your face. Mu Chunfeng called out. Qin Chuan cooperatively spread his legs and stuck out his butt. Only then did Zhao Ping realize why she brought the water in. It turned out that Qin Chuan had peed and pooped all over his pants. She was wiping it off for him. Looking at the pants on the floor and the poop on them, Zhao Ping felt nauseous. How disgusting. Now that she thought about it, it was a good thing that she hadn't eaten anything in the afternoon. Otherwise, she would have vomited when she saw this scene. Other than looking disgusting, the room was filled with a very foul smell. Zhao Ping quickly pinched her nose. She looked at Mu Chunfeng, who seemed to be used to it and continued wiping Qin Chuan. After wiping him once, he called out to Zhao Pinger, Pinger, get me some more water. I'll continue wiping. Zhao Ping'er replied. Oh, mother, I'll go now. However, when she carried the wooden tray, Zhao Ping'er's brows furrowed tightly together. She kept feeling the stench from the wooden tray enter her nose. This Qin Chuan. How could such an adult do such a thing? Chapter 1088. Even if she wanted to complain, she had no place to do so. He was a fool. What could she say? She just didn't expect Qin Chuan to be so foolish. How could he even pee and poop into his pants? Even a fool should know how to take off his pants. Sigh. Zhao Ping'er sighed deeply. She only hoped that Qin Chuan wasn't like this. Otherwise she would go crazy. If he helped Mu Chunfeng serve Qin Chuan like this every day, he would probably go crazy. Zhao Ping'er poured out the water in the basin and rinsed the wooden basin with cold water. Then, she fetched some clean water and brought it into the house. Mu Chunfeng continued to wipe Qin Chuan's body and helped him put on his pants. After he was done, Mu Chunfeng turned around and saw Zhao Ping'er pinching her nose with a look of disdain. Although it was understandable, Mu Chunfeng was still unhappy. If it was anyone else, so be it. But since Zhao Ping'er was married, she was part of their family Qin. No matter what, Zhao Ping'er shouldn't despise Qin Chuan. After all, he still wanted Zhao Ping'er to be Qin Chuan's wife in the future. When she was old and no longer in this world, his Chuan-er would need someone to take care of him. If Zhao Ping'er became Qin Chuan's wife, she would definitely do this. Mu Chunfeng wondered if he should let Zhao Ping'er do it the next time Qin Chuan peed or pooped in his pants. Now that Zhao Yun'er was used to it, she would naturally know how to help him in the future. Zhao Ping'er saw Mu Chunfeng looking at her and asked, Mother, why are you looking at me? Why are you covering your nose? Mu Chunfeng asked. Zhao Ping'er pursed her lips and said, Mother, isn't it smelly? Of course I'm pinching my nose. Mu Chunfeng replied unhappily, Smelly? Why are you smelly? It's not like you haven't pooped before. Mother. Zhao Ping'er didn't know what to say to Mu Chunfeng. It was smelly to begin with, and she didn't say anything wrong. Why would he be unhappy over such a small matter? It's so pitiful to be married. Just a small matter can make people unhappy. All right. Mu Chunfeng did not want to talk about Zhao Ping'er anymore. Instead, she gently said to Qin Chuan, Chuan-er, hurry up and go out to play. Qin Chuan nodded and said, Okay, mother, I'll go out then. All right. Qin Chuan was like a child. He put on clean pants and skipped out of the house. Zhao Ping'er watched as Qin Chuan left and prepared to leave the house. After all, the smell in the house was too bad. She wanted to go out and take in some fresh air. However, before she could step out, she was stopped by Mu Chunfeng. Ping'er, where did you go? Mother, there's nothing else. I'll go out first. Who said there's nothing else? Mu Chunfeng frowned unhappily and nagged at Ping'er. Mother, what else is there? Zhao Ping'er looked at Mu Chunfeng nervously. Didn't you see that there's something on the floor in the house? Why didn't you clean it up? Mu Chunfeng replied unhappily. Zhao Ping'er stared at the floor. There was indeed something on the floor. It was Qin Chuan's poop and the dirty pants he took off. Zhao Ping'er took a look, and her stomach continued to churn. Then she said to Mu Chunfeng, Mother, how should I clean it up? And it was so disgusting. Why should she clean it up? Chapter 1089. What else can I do? Take a broom and sweep it up. Also wash Chuan-er's pants, Mu Chunfeng said in a commanding tone. Since he had married a wife, he naturally had to order her around. It wasn't easy for a wife to become a mother-in-law, so she had to enjoy it. Zhao Ping'er didn't know how to cook, but she should be able to wash clothes and clean the house, right? If she didn't even know how to do that, then it could only be said that this wife was useless. Mother. Zhao Ping'er frowned and looked very unhappy. It was fine if she was just washing clothes, but the problem was that the clothes were too dirty. When she thought about how it was stained with Qin Chuan's feces and urine, Zhao Ping'er felt nauseous. What's wrong? You can't even order me to do a job? Zhao Ping'er pursed her lips. Mother, it's not that I can't order you around, but it's too difficult. Why is it difficult? Mu Chunfeng frowned and asked. Mother, look, there's so much feces and urine on it. I feel disgusted. Zhao Ping looked at Mu Chunfang pitifully. Mu Chunfang saw that Zhao Ping didn't want to do it, so he said to Zhao Ping, what's wrong with this? Didn't mother wash it often in the past? Seriously. If you don't want to do it, then you don't want to do it. Don't make so many excuses. Mother. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's really difficult. Zhao Ping glanced at the things on the floor again. If she looked at it any longer, she probably wouldn't be able to eat dinner. Okay, don't give me so many excuses. If you don't want to do it, then you don't want to do it. Mu Chunfang said and snorted in displeasure. Zhao Ping pouted and felt wronged. At this moment, Qin Yuan happened to come back from work. When he heard Mu Chunfang's voice in the house, he went into the house and asked Mu Chunfang, Mother, what's wrong? What happened? Mu Chunfang sighed at Qin Yuan and said, Sa Yuan, it's actually nothing much. It's just that you can't even order Ping, to do some work. After Mu Chunfang finished speaking, Qin Yuan's sharp gaze landed on Zhao Ping. Ping couldn't help but tremble when Qin Yuan looked at her like this. Big brother Yuan. Zhao Ping glanced at Qin Yuan pitifully. Seeing Qin Yuan's attitude, she knew that Qin Yuan was definitely going to be angry. Zhao Ping, do you think there's a woman like you? You've done so many stupid things. I don't even have time to scold you. Don't you know how to be filial to your elders? Qin Yuan said coldly to Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping's heart trembled a few times. She knew that it was useless even if she tried to explain. After all, Qin Yuan's heart was definitely on Mu Chunfang's side. In order to not anger Qin Yuan, Zhao Ping could only say, Big brother Yuan, I didn't say that I won't do it. I'll do it now, okay? Hearing Zhao Ping say this, Mu Chunfang's anger subsided a little. Qin Yuan's expression also looked much better. Since that's the case, then fine. Yuan, since Ping is willing to do it, you don't have to scold her anymore. Qin Yuan nodded and said, since that's the case, then forget it. Mu Chunfang said to Zhao Ping, Ping, quickly go and tidy up. Mother still has other things to do. Got it, mother. Zhao Ping responded. Qin Yuan and Mu Chunfang went out first, leaving Zhao Ping alone in the room. Chapter 1090. The poop on the floor was too disgusting. Zhao Ping took out a broom, closed her eyes, and began to sweep. She couldn't look. The sight of it made her feel disgusted. She hurriedly picked up the clothes and placed them in the wooden basin. Then, she carried the wooden basin out of the house. She could just wash the pants with a lot of water later. In any case, she would definitely not rub it with her hands. If she washed it with water, it wouldn't be a problem if the dirt on Qin Chuan's pants didn't stick. After Zhao Ping finished washing, she quickly hung up the pants to dry. After all this work, Zhao Ping was already exhausted. When she was at old Zhao's house, she had never done so much work. Now, she only felt that her entire body was paralyzed with fatigue. Dinner wasn't prepared by Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping was only responsible for watching Mu Chunfang cook. In the end, Mu Chunfang didn't want Zhao Ping to cook. She was afraid that Zhao Ping, this idiot, would burn the food again like she did in the afternoon. Her family didn't have so much food for Zhao Ping to waste. Because Zhao Ping washed Zhao Ping's dirty clothes, she didn't continue to make things difficult for Zhao Ping during dinner. Instead, she called for Zhao Ping to eat. After lunch, Zhao Ping returned to the house. Then, she eagerly waited for Qin Yuan to hurry into the house so that she could do that thing with Qin Yuan at night. After waiting for a long time, Qin Yuan finally came. However, Qin Yuan's face was dark, and he looked very unhappy. Zhao Ping went to Qin Yuan and said excitedly to Qin Yuan, Brother Yuan, you're here. Qin Yuan responded indifferently. Then let's sleep. Zhao Ping looked at Qin Yuan shyly. When she said, sleep, she didn't mean do it. Qin Yuan responded coldly, but he didn't even look at Zhao Ping. She didn't take off her clothes after she went to bed. When Zhao Ping saw this, she hurriedly asked, Big brother Yuan, why aren't you taking off your clothes to sleep? Take off my clothes? Qin Yuan frowned. He also wanted to take off his clothes and sleep, But when he saw Zhao Ping'er, he felt a deep sense of danger. He didn't dare to take off his clothes. What if Zhao Ping'er did something to him again? He had already lost his virginity once, and he didn't want to lose it a second time. That's right. Big brother Yuan. Who sleeps with clothes on? Quickly take off your clothes. As she said that, Zhao Ping'er even moved in front of Qin Yuan very attentively and said to Qin Yuan, "Come, big brother Yuan, let me help you. I'll help you take it off." Qin Yuan hurriedly pushed Zhao Ping'er away and reprimanded Zhao Ping'er. "You're a woman. Don't you have any shame? Quickly get lost for me. What's wrong with me not taking off my clothes to sleep?" Big brother Yuan. After Zhao Ping'er was stunned for a few seconds, she looked at Qin Yuan aggrievedly. "Big brother Yuan, we're already married. What's wrong with this?" Big brother Yuan. "Zhao Ping'er, shut up. If you say another word, do you believe that I'll throw you out?" Zhao Ping'er was intimidated and could only reply, Got it, big brother Yuan." Qin Yuan continued to say coldly, "Also sleep further away at night. Don't come near me. You better behave. If I find out what you did, see how I'll deal with you." Zhao Ping'er answered weakly, "Got it, big brother Yuan." Chapter 1091. It's good that you know. Go to sleep. After saying this, Qin Yuan went to sleep on one side of the bed. There was a quilt between him and Zhao Ping'er. In this way, the two of them could not touch each other. Qin Yuan felt a little more secure when he put on his clothes and went to sleep. If there were more rooms in the house, he would not squeeze in with Zhao Ping'er. Zhao Ping'er had to lie down on the other side of the bed. She was secretly glad that she had listened to Ma Xiaofeng. If she had not listened to Qin Yuan, he probably would never have touched her. The burning passion incense began to take effect. Qin Yuan, who was sleeping in a daze, suddenly felt a burst of heat in his body. It was very uncomfortable. He originally wanted to put on his clothes and sleep. In the end, he could not stand the heat and took off his clothes. However, he thought that he would be fine after taking off his clothes. Unfortunately, after taking off his clothes, his body continued to feel hot and uncomfortable. There seemed to be a big fire in his body that could not be extinguished. His mouth was a little dry, and his whole body was about to smoke. Qin Yuan was puzzled. What was going on? Why did he feel so uncomfortable? His body's desire suddenly broke out. He looked sideways at Zhao Ping'er, who was lying on the side. At this time, Zhao Ping'er also took off her clothes because of the heat. Qin Yuan did not know why, but when he saw Zhao Ping'er like this, his heart burned restlessly. An impulse appeared in his mind, which was to do that thing with Zhao Ping'er. Qin Yuan shook his head hard. No, no, no. How could he have such thoughts about Zhao Ping'er? He did not even want to touch Zhao Ping'er, that ugly woman, let alone do that thing with Zhao Ping'er. He must be confused because of the heat. Unfortunately, after a few seconds of sobriety, he was suddenly overwhelmed by his body's reaction. Qin Yuan turned over and pressed down on Zhao Ping'er. Big brother Yuan. Zhao Ping'er whispered softly into Qin Yuan's ear. Qin Yuan was even more agitated. Big brother Yuan, I like you so much. Big brother Yuan, let's do that. As Zhao Ping'er spoke, she grabbed the thing under the Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan's body trembled for a moment. He had a feeling that he couldn't control himself. An impulse rushed into Zhao Ping'er's body. For a moment, the room was in turmoil again. Zhao Ping'er screamed even louder than last night. Qin Dahai and Mu Chunfeng, who were in the room next door, heard the commotion in Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan's room. The two of them looked at each other in confusion. Qin Dahai said, Yuan-er's mother, what's wrong with Yuan-er? Early in the morning, he came over and said that we sent him to Ping-er's room. He even said that he didn't want to sleep with Ping-er. After doing that thing with Ping-er, he specially washed his body. You said that he drank too much yesterday. I can understand. After all, drunk sex is messed up. But what's the meaning of tonight? He won't come over tomorrow morning to blame us, right? Mu Chunfeng was silent for a moment before saying, I don't think so. Yuan-er's father, actually, this is normal. It's nothing. Yuan-er is also a man. Which man doesn't like to cheat? Yuan, just happens to be in the prime of his youth. Although Ping is a little ugly, when a woman covers herself with a blanket, the feeling is the same. Chapter 1092. After listening to Mu Chuanfeng's explanation, Qin Dahai nodded repeatedly. He felt that Mu Chuanfeng's words made a lot of sense. That was indeed the case. Men. How many of them could control themselves from doing it? It was fine if it was any other time, but there was a woman lying in front of him. How could he not control himself? Moreover, the woman was covered with a blanket. It was really the same. Anyway, the feeling of doing it was similar. It was very satisfying. Yeah, looking at you on I reckon the two of us will be able to hold a grandson soon. Mu Chunfeng smiled and nodded. That's right. Haha, there were people who mocked our family Qin for not having a descendant. Now it's all good. We'll slap their faces when we have a grandson. Mu Chunfeng also smiled and said, Good, Qin Dahai advised earnestly, don't order Ping around too much. If Ping is pregnant, our family Qin will at least have a descendant. We have to take good care of her. Yuaner's father, I know. It's not that fast, right? Let's train Ping well now. Otherwise, she won't know how to work when the time comes. Qin Dahai replied. Sure. As long as it's not too much, it's fine. A pregnant woman can't do heavy work. Our household chores aren't heavy work. Don't worry, old man. Don't worry about this. That's fine. The two of them chatted for a long time. In the next room, Zhao Pinger and Qin Yuan had no intention of stopping. Qin Dahai and Mu Chunfeng laughed softly. Qin Dahai sighed and said, Sigh, it's still good to be young. You have strength when you're young. You don't feel tired even after working for so long. Mu Chunfeng joked. Of course. Back then, you were much better than Yuan when you were young. Back then we just got married. You could work for an entire night. Qin Dahai was rather proud. That's right. I can't let you be unsatisfied. You old man, aren't you ashamed? Haha, what's there to be ashamed of? We've been husband and wife for so many years. What's there to be embarrassed about? Humph. Mu Chunfeng snorted softly, as if he didn't want to continue this topic with Qin Dahai. At this moment, Qin Chuan, who was sleeping at the side, was woken up by the commotion caused by Zhao Pinger and Qin Yuan. Qin Chuan rubbed his eyes. Seeing that Qin Chuan had woken up, Mu Chunfeng asked Qin Chuan, Chuan, why are you awake? Qin Chuan shouted, Mother, there's so much commotion next to us. And that ugly monster's screams woke me up. Mother, what are they doing? Upon hearing Qin Chuan's words, Mu Chunfeng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Zhao Pinger wasn't screaming. She was screaming because she was comfortable. That's why she was screaming. However, he couldn't explain this to Qin Chuan. After all, Qin Chuan was a fool and didn't know much about this. Hence he said to Qin Chuan, Chuaner, it's nothing. Hurry up and go to sleep. Qin Chuan frowned and said unhappily, Mother, how can it be nothing? There must be something. Mother, I want to see what they're doing. It's so noisy that I can't sleep. Mu Chunfeng hurriedly pulled Qin Chuan back. If Qin Chuan ran over to take a look, it would be terrible. How could he be disturbed? Chuan, don't go. It should be fine. Chapter 1093. Mu Chunfeng was slightly taken aback, and the corners of her mouth twitched. She smiled embarrassedly and said, I think so. Only then did Qin Yuan nod his head. Mother, that's more or less it. I was wondering why she screamed so miserably. Little brother Yuan, did well. That ugly freak has to teach her a lesson. She even bullied me today. Mu Chunfeng hurriedly agreed. Yes. Chuan, you're right. So your little brother Yuan, will help you vent your anger now. He's teaching that girl a lesson right now. Qin Chuan happily said, Mother, I'll teach that ugly freak a lesson later too. I'll also beat that ugly freak until she screams like this. Mu Chunfeng smiled and nodded. Okay. Yuan, you can do whatever you want. Actually, if Zhao Pinger became Qin Chuan's wife in the future, Qin Chuan would definitely have to do this with Zhao Ping. It was a pity that Qin Chuan was a fool and didn't know anything about this. If she explained to Qin Chuan that this was bullying Zhao Ping'er, Qin Chuan would probably be very motivated. Thinking of this, Mu Chuanfeng's heart was filled with happiness. Something suddenly appeared in her mind, so she pulled Qin Chuan and said, "Chuaner, mother will bring you to secretly take a look. Don't disturb him. Your little brother Yuan-er is fine. If you disturb him, he won't help you teach Zhao Ping a lesson." Qin Chuan nodded heavily and replied, "Mother, I know. Don't worry, I definitely won't disturb him." Mu Chunfeng said with a satisfied look, "All right, let's go. Mother will bring you to take a look." Qin Chuan nodded excitedly. Seeing that Mu Chunfeng wanted to bring Qin Chuan to take a peek, Qin Dahai looked at Mu Chunfeng with a puzzled look and asked, "Yuaner's mother, where are you going?" Mu Chunfeng had a mysterious smile on her face. "Yuaner's father, I'm bringing Chuaner to learn something." Qin Dahai was puzzled. "Learn something? What are you studying?" "Hee." Mu Chunfeng chuckled and whispered into Qin Dahai's ear. "Yuaner's father, I'm bringing Chuan-er to learn how to do that." Mu Chunfeng began to explain. Qin Chuan was a fool. If he got together with Zhao Ping'er in the future, he might not do such things in bed. Someone had to teach Qin Chuan first. After all, this was not something that could be learned without a teacher. Now that Qin Chuan had taken a look and learned it, he wouldn't have to worry about it in the future. Qin Dahai nodded. "All right then, you guys can go. Yuaner's mother, keep your voice down. You even startled them." Mu Chunfeng chuckled. "Don't worry, Yuaner's father won't." "All right, that's good." Hee. With that, Mu Chunfeng brought Qin Chuan out. The two of them arrived in front of Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan's room. Mu Chunfeng secretly opened the window, and from where she and Qin Chuan were standing, they could see the scene inside. When they looked in, they saw two naked bodies entangled together. Qin Yuan was on top, and Zhao Ping'er was below. Qin Yuan was doing his best. After seeing Qin Yuan and Zhao Ping'er like this, Qin Chuan asked Mu Chunfeng with a puzzled look, "Mother, why does little Yuan have to be like this when he's bullying others? He has to take off all his clothes." Mu Chunfeng hurriedly made a shushing gesture. "Chuaner, keep your voice down. Otherwise, they'll hear you from inside." "Oh." Qin Chuan hurriedly nodded in response. Chapter 1094. Mu Chunfeng called out to Qin Chuan. Then he explained to Qin Chuan, "Chuaner, this is how your brother Yuan bullies people. Look, Ping'er is screaming so miserably. Bullying her like this is even more painful than hitting her. If you want to make her suffer, you have to use this method. Look at how good your brother Yuan is to you. In order to help you vent your anger, he bullied her for so long." Qin Chuan nodded and stared at Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan. He remembered Mu Chuanfeng's words. He had to learn how to bully Zhao Ping'er like this in the future. Let's see if Zhao Ping'er still dared to hit him. "Yuan-er, did you see it clearly?" Mu Chunfeng asked. Qin Chuan nodded. "Yes, mother, I saw it clearly." Mu Chunfeng smiled and said, "It's good that you saw it clearly. Then tell mother, how did your brother Yuan do it?" Qin Chuan said, "Mother, I saw brother Yuan use his thing down there to get it into the ugly monster's crotch and then stab it inside." Qin Yuan's answer made Mu Chunfeng unable to hold back his laughter. Although Mu Chunfeng was right, his description was too funny. "Mother, what are you laughing at? Could it be that I'm wrong?" Mu Chunfeng smiled and said, Yes. Chuan-er, you're right. Mother, then I'll bully the ugly monster like this later." "Okay. Since Chuan-er knows how to do it, let's go in and rest." Yes. Before leaving, Qin Chuan took another look at Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan in the room. He cheered for Qin Yuan in his heart, hoping that Qin Yuan could persist for a while longer and bully Zhao Ping'er, this ugly monster. The next morning, when Qin Yuan woke up again, he realized that he had taken off all his clothes. Zhao Ping'er was also naked and lying beside him. Qin Yuan's veins bulged. He remembered what happened last night. He actually touched Zhao Ping'er again. What the hell? He clearly felt disgusted whenever he saw Zhao Ping'er, but why couldn't he control himself? It must be Zhao Ping'er. That woman must have done something secretly. Qin Yuan pulled Zhao Pinger up from the bed and asked her angrily, Zhao Pinger, you be asterisk tch. Tell me what you did. Zhao Pinger met Qin Yuan's angry eyes. She knew what Qin Yuan was talking about. Big brother Yuan. I didn't do anything. Zhao Pinger mumbled. Nothing? If I didn't do anything, would I touch you properly? Big brother Yuan, that's how it is in the first place. Zhao Pinger. If you don't give me an explanation today, see how I'll deal with you. Zhao Pinger didn't know what to say. If she told Qin Yuan clearly that she lit the burning passion incense, then wouldn't Qin Yuan kill her? Furthermore, she wouldn't be able to do this to Qin Yuan in the future. Big brother Yuan, I don't know what you said. Anyway, I didn't do anything to you. Qin Yuan didn't have any evidence, and it wasn't good for him to accuse Zhao Pinger. He could only warn Zhao Pinger. Zhao Pinger, remember this. You better not do anything. If I find out that you did something to me, you'll get it. After Qin Yuan finished speaking, he walked out of the room in a huff. Thinking about what he did with Zhao Pinger last night, how could he still be in the mood? The yellow-clothed man looked at the blue-clothed man. What do you want to eat? Recommend it. This young master doesn't know. The blue-clothed man also shook his head. Young master, I haven't eaten here either. I don't know what to order. The yellow-clothed man sighed slightly. Forget it. We don't have to order. After speaking, the yellow-clothed man said to Mu Hin, It's the first time we've eaten here. We don't know what's good. Why don't you recommend a few dishes to us? Chapter 1096. The man in yellow nodded and said, All right then, we'll serve what you've mentioned. The man in blue beside him quickly added, Young master, isn't this a little too little? I've never had a good appetite. If you have a good appetite, then order more. Young lady, what else do you have for us? Just serve us whatever you like. The man in yellow smiled and said. Mu Hin responded again. All right then. Young masters, I'll add 2 vegetable buns, 2 meat buns, and a plate of fried dumplings. This is quite a lot. I'll fill you up. Haha, deal. After seeing the man in yellow nod, Mu Hin quickly went to serve breakfast for the 2 of them. She specially prepared a small plate of vinegar for the fried dumplings. Dipping the dumplings in vinegar would make them taste much better. As the 2 men sat and waited, they took a few breaths of the fragrance in the air. This kind of fragrant smell stimulated their appetite. The man in yellow was a little curious. It does seem quite good. I feel like the food I usually eat isn't here. Indeed, good things are in the common folk. I've missed out on a lot in the past. The man in blue added, That's true. You should go out more often and experience the scenery and food of different places. Haha. The man in yellow laughed again. I have a lot of things to do on a daily basis. How can I be like you? If it's possible, I'd like to go out and walk around too. It's fine. Aren't you out now? Our Sun City is enough for you to stay. Haha. The 2 of them didn't say much before Mu Hin served the food on the table. Young masters, I've served everything for you. Take your time and eat. All right, thank you, young lady. You're welcome, young master. The man in blue and the man in yellow looked at the breakfast on the table. Although it was a little simple, it gave them a different feeling. Perhaps it was because they didn't usually eat these, but now it was a novelty. Come, come, come. Try it, try it. Haha, good. The 2 of them each took a bite of the wonton first. The wonton skin was thin and there was a lot of meat filling. It was very refreshing. Moreover, there was a unique freshness in the meat. They fell in love with it after tasting it once. Not only was the meat filling delicious, but the wonton soup was also light and refreshing. It was very good. After tasting the wontons, the 2 of them tasted the fried dumplings. When dipped in vinegar, the skin was crispy and the meat inside was fragrant and delicious. Even the ordinary green vegetable buns tasted better than what he usually ate. The yellow-robed man couldn't help but praise. It's really delicious. This young master has never eaten such delicious breakfast before. The blue-robed man nodded and said, Indeed, the chefs in my residence can't even cook half as well. After he finished speaking, the blue-clothed man sighed deeply. The mansion spends a lot of money to hire cooks every year, but they can't compare to this stall owner. In comparison, the money spent is a bit of a loss. When the yellow-clothed man heard this, the smile on his face grew even wider. If he said that the money spent was a loss, then wouldn't he say the same thing? I've had a meal today. I can eat while I'm in Yong City, but there will be a time when I have to leave. Once I leave, I probably won't be able to eat anymore. The man in yellow sighed as he ate. Young master, if you want to eat it, it's not impossible, the blue-clothed man said. Chapter 1097. Young master, why don't you hire this stall owner and ask her to cook for you when you want to eat it? Wouldn't that do? The man in yellow fell silent for a moment. That sounds like a good idea. Haha, why don't you ask her? The man in yellow nodded. All right, I'll ask her. The man in blue called out to the stall owner. Who's the owner of this stall? Zhao Yuner walked towards the two men when she heard that. In fact, after these two men came over, Zhao Yuner noticed them. Because of the way they were dressed, she could tell that they were different from the rest. It seemed like they had an extraordinary status. However, Zhao Yuner did not think too much about it. Yong City was so big. There were many people with extraordinary statuses. These two were not the only ones. Young master, may I know why you're looking for me? Zhao Yuner asked after she walked over. Actually, it's nothing much. I just wanted to ask, did you make the breakfast in this stall? Of course. Who else would make it? Haha, since you made it, that's good. How much do you earn in a month by setting up this stall? The man in blue continued to ask. Zhao Yuner frowned. She did not know why the man in blue asked her how much she earned in a month. She was not willing to reveal such a private matter to outsiders. Moreover, these two men's identities were unknown. Why should she tell them? Hence, Zhao Yuner replied. Why are you asking this, young master? Seeing that Zhao Yuner was unwilling to say, the man in blue explained. Miss, don't misunderstand. We don't have any ill intentions. It's just that my friend likes to eat the breakfast you make. I also think that it tastes very good. But my friend is not from Yong City. If he leaves, he probably won't be able to eat the breakfast you make. So, I'm thinking of hiring you back. If he wants to eat it, you can make it for him. The salary will definitely be much higher than what you earn. Miss, do you want to consider it? Zhao Yuner listened and understood. It turned out to be such a matter. I'm sorry, but I might have to disappoint this young master's kind intentions. My family is in Sun City, so I will definitely stay in Sun City. No matter how much you pay me, I won't go there. Zhao Yuner refused very straightforwardly. When the blue-robed man heard this, he could only sigh. Since Miss has said so, then we shouldn't force you. However, Miss, you can discuss it with your family and reconsider. I'll make sure you're satisfied with the salary. Zhao Yuner nodded. The yellow-clothed man also looked a little disappointed, but there was some appreciation in his eyes when he looked at Zhao Yuner. After the two of them had their fill, they stood up and placed an ingot of silver on the table. When Zhao Yuner saw this, she said to them, Young masters, you've given too much money. I'll give you the change. The yellow-clothed man waved his hand and said, There's no need. We're satisfied with the food, so just treat it as a tip. That won't do. It's how much money it is. I can't take advantage of you. As Zhao Yuner spoke, she took out dozens of copper coins and silver pieces. She walked in front of the yellow-clothed man and stuffed them into his hands. Zhao Yuner didn't like the feeling of being rewarded. She wasn't a poor person and didn't need other people's charity. Otherwise, she would be like a beggar. Chapter 1098. His lips couldn't help but curl into a smile. He found Zhao Yuner quite interesting. This was the first time he had met someone who didn't want more money. The man in yellow smiled and said, It's actually inconvenient for me to keep so much change. Why don't you take it? Zhao Yuner's mouth twitched. Was this what it meant to be a rich fool? Not only did he not want money, He even despised it. This was the first time Zhao Yun had seen this. However, she couldn't say anything to this kind of rich man. What could she do if he was happy? That's young master's business. It has nothing to do with me. After Zhao Yun finished speaking, she turned back to the stall and continued to take care of her business. The man in yellow's smile deepened. He muttered to himself, "Interesting, interesting, really interesting. Are all the girls in Yang City so unique?" As the man in yellow spoke, he looked at the man in blue beside him. The corners of the blue-robed man's mouth curled up as he replied with a smile. "I don't know either. Maybe this girl is special. I've never seen her like this before." The man in yellow laughed heartily. "Haha, this is the first time I've seen a woman who doesn't like money." The man in blue followed behind and agreed, "Haha, that's right. Let's go." "Okay." As the two men spoke, they left Zhao Yun's stall. After busying herself for a while in the morning, she packed up the stall. When she went to the market to buy things, she suddenly bumped into young Master Meng. He hadn't met her for so long in Yang City, but he didn't expect to meet her this time. Zhao Yun pretended not to see him and wanted to avoid young Master Meng. However, young Master Meng saw her and walked towards Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun's brows twitched for a moment. She had a feeling that something bad was going to happen. Sure enough, young Master Meng arrived in front of Zhao Yun. He gave Zhao Yun a wretched smile and said, "Miss Yun, what a coincidence that I ran into you." Zhao Yun frowned and pursed her lips. "Yes, what a coincidence. Miss Yun, I couldn't remember it before. But now that I've seen you, I've remembered something." Young Master Meng smiled. There seemed to be a deeper meaning in his words, as if he wanted to express something. Zhao Yun's heart tightened slightly. She knew that something bad was going to happen. She didn't know what young Master Meng had thought of, but it was fine as long as he wasn't looking for trouble with her. What did young Master Meng think of? Zhao Yun raised her eyebrows and asked, "Miss Yun, the things I sent to you last time when I came back, one of them was missing." Zhao Yun asked, "What's missing?" "A bolt of silk is missing. It's dozens of taels of silver. I wonder when you'll return it? Although it's a bit late to say it now, since Miss Yun insisted on returning it to me, I can't return the other things but keep one." "Don't you think so, Miss Yun?" As young Master Meng spoke, there was a trace of calculation in his eyes. "Of course, if Miss Yun can't return it, you can use other methods to make up for it. After all, I'm a relatively easygoing person. Dozens of taels of silver isn't a small amount. I can't just let it go like this." Zhao Yun frowned. She knew that young Master Meng wanted to ask for it from her and had some other bad ideas. Chapter 1099. She replied with some displeasure, "Young Master Meng, this is your business. You were the one who insisted on giving me those things back then. If you want to give them to me, then so be it. However, these things were given to my grandmother and the others. They were the ones who accepted them. If anything is missing, you can go and find them. This has nothing to do with me." Young Master Meng frowned slightly. He felt that his plan had failed. "Since Miss Yun said so, it seems that I have to make a trip to your place later." Young Master Meng's tone carried a hint of threat. When he saw Zhao Yun, his desire to conquer was aroused. Since Zhao Yun did not work here, he would make a trip to old Zhao's house. He would force Zhao Yun's elders to see if they had a way to make Zhao Yun yield to him. Zhao Yun did not take young Master Meng's threat seriously at all. She replied indifferently, "Do as you wish. If you have nothing else, I will go first." Zhao Yun hooked up the corner of her mouth and pulled Liang Jinqiao away. He felt disgusted if he stayed for another second. On the way back, Liang Jinqiao sighed and said to Zhao Yun, "Yun, your grandmother really took a batch of silk and satin to make clothes for your aunt. Is this silk and satin really as expensive as young Master Meng said? A piece of silk is worth dozens of taels of silver?" Zhao Yun shook her head. "I don't know if it's worth dozens of taels of silver, but it shouldn't be too cheap. Now that they insist that it's worth dozens of taels of silver, what can we do?" Hearing Zhao Yun's words, Liang Jinqiao sighed and said, If it's really worth dozens of taels of silver, then if young Master Meng asks your grandmother and the others for it, Where can they find dozens of taels of silver? Obviously, Liang Jinxiao was worried about old Zhao's family. Young Master Meng was no ordinary person. How could they, mere commoners, deal with him? Furthermore, they were the ones who were being unreasonable in this matter. After all, they had taken someone else's things. How could they not return it? Zhao Xinhui used the cloth to make clothes, so the old Zhao family had to pay young Master Meng. Otherwise it would not make sense. Even if they went to the Yamen to argue, the county magistrate would definitely order old Zhao's family to pay the money back to young Master Meng. But with old Zhao's family's situation, not to mention dozens of taels, even a few taels of silver would be good enough. Zhao Yuner smiled and comforted Liang Jinxiao. Mother, why are you worrying so much? Asking them to return it is the same as asking us to return it. Grandma and those greedy people have to be taught a lesson like this. Otherwise, how can they learn their lesson? Liang Jinxiao sighed and said, Sa Yuner, that's your grandma after all. When the time comes, even chickens and dogs will not have peace. Our family will also be in trouble. What trouble can we get into? Don't tell me they want us to pay these taels of silver? Maybe. Mother, don't think so much. No matter what, I definitely won't pay this money. If it's really impossible, then use little aunt as a substitute. Our little aunt is not bad looking. Perhaps young Master Meng will like her. Ah! Liang Jinxiao was slightly stunned. He was convinced by Zhao Yuner's words. This girl was really imaginative. Speaking of which, Zhao Xinhui was not young and was not married yet. If she were to marry young Master Meng, Hua Chunhua would probably agree. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.